I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. Just, I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in everyone.
Totally
Disappointed in everyone of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it no more.
I'm disappointed in everyone.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
Let's just kill those fucking men.
What are you going to do about it?
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing. Lomito! You got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
Alright. Welcome everybody to the BD Boxing Podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. This is your good friend Mr. BDA, flying solo for the moment. It's a nice rainy evening right here in the True North, and so we've got a lot to talk about, a lot of news coming up. We had a busy weekend of boxing. As far as I know, this one will not be as busy. But nevertheless, we've got a lot of developments, a lot of fighters making statements, a lot of managers as well, as we're going to talk about later on. So before we get down to that, fellas, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you get a couple of shekels that you can send our way, go ahead and let us know. Really appreciate it. But of course, the most important thing is you continue to spread the BDA gospel. If you like boxing, that's what we deal with here. Although today will be a more drama-ish episode, I suppose you could say, because there's a lot of fighters out there making statements. So we're going to be looking at those, analyzing them, see what the future holds for everybody. Before we get down to that, fellas, shout out to Not, Jay Perez, Hard Recall, Jump Tube, Iceman, GB Guthrie, Jaguar, Matt's Debater, PED, Dead Game in the house as well, T. Sanchez, Andres Hernandez, and many more people to come. I'm sure, fellas, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. And, there's a lot going on right now in boxing. Now, unfortunately, a couple of bad news. This coming, is it Saturday? Yes, indeed. This Saturday, we've got Chris Colbert versus Tukstok Nambayar. Tough fight for Chris Colbert. Hopefully, he'll shine and we get more names in there. But again, Nambayar, I mean, he's got a full tank of gas in there. He will not be easy, I don't think. I don't know. I'd have to check that out again. Check out Chris Colbert's last performances. But it looks like a solid fight. But unfortunately, on July the 7th, we also had Timothy Zhu, that's Tim Zhu, taking on Michael, the male stripper Zerafa. But of course, that fight's been replayed. Michael Zerafa had to jump off because apparently there's supposedly a second wave or whatever of COVID cases over there in Australia. Michael Zerafa didn't want to go there unless they took more precautions. He wanted the fight postponed. So now Team Zoo is saying that Magic Sarafa is scared and was always scared. So unfortunately, that that event becomes less interesting as Team Zoo is going to be taking on some other replacement. At the same time, though, we've got the following week. Or actually on Friday, Gilberto Ramirez makes his DAZN debut against the veteran Sullivan Barrera. Then you also have Jojo Diaz taking on Javier Fortuna, the fight that should have been Ryan Garcia versus Javier Fortuna, but of course Diaz steps in there, and Garcia is coming out of the woodwork. We're going to talk about that. So for these next 2 weeks, it's going to be slim pickings, but hopefully we get down to the nitty-gritty and get ourselves some good events. Of course, their second renaissance. We can still come back with that one in case not much continues happening in boxing. Shout out to Mr. E, Eddie Clay, Michael Poe, Blue Collar Sports TV, aka Delbo. Check out his channel. And I might be opening up the phone lines later on, especially if nobody jumps in here. But other than that, let's get down to it, because the news out there after Lomachenko beat Nakatani in impressive fashion, by the way, a lot of people were buzzing about a potential Lopez versus Lomachenko rematch, the one that we all wanted, the one that really should have happened right after the initial fight. But of course that didn't happen, and Lopez went looking for greener pastures over at Triller, got into a bit of a tangled mess over with Top Rank, which has now supposedly been ironed out. They renegotiated the contract. I don't know if renegotiated is the correct legal term, but suffice to say they worked their issues out. And but now Lopez, though, he still has to fight Kambosos. Kombucha, as I like to call him. Triller still has to deliver on the money they invested for that, but it keeps getting pushed and pushed and pushed. The last time it was, or this final time that it's been postponed, hopefully it's the final time, it's because Lopez supposedly tested positive for COVID. And as you can see here, Lopez still sick with COVID. The article states that he's really gotten touched by it, and so therefore he's sidelined for the moment. And this is the statement made by Chris Mannix. He says, "I've been told by people close to Lopez that he's still very sick and that he's still dealing with the effects of COVID-19, said Chris Mannix on his program over at DAZN. Hold on, let me zoom in on this article because I don't think you guys are seeing it. The fuck is going on here? All right. So whenever he actually gets over there, he's probably going to need a month and a half or 2 months of a training camp to get back into shape. So the way I see it is we're almost at the end of June here. So we got all July, August, and then maybe early September. That's when the fight would happen. But again, this fight seems to be, seems like it's not going to happen. For some reason, it's just something new comes out all the time. People have kind of pinpointed September 11th as a date for Lopez Kombucha. Mannix said, don't count on it. All right, then you go. Okay, so they say he's still sick. That's according to Chris Mannix, right? But then if you go to this video that we had when right after the Lomachenko fight on ESPN, this is what Bob Arum, who still appears to be running the show over there at Top Rank, had to say.
Be a winner and there'll be a loser, but there'll be two rich guys when the thing's over.
So we'll get our passports ready for that long anticipated.
Hold on a second. They asked him about the potential rematch.
There'll be a winner and there'll be a loser, but there'll be two rich guys.
For that long anticipated rematch. Now I spoke with Teofimo, his father, and he said they were willing to make this fight. I know that there was no rematch clause, and that was much talked about why there wasn't, and Lomachenko just didn't care for it at that time. But nonetheless, he reserved the right to say no to the fight. How do you feel about his father saying they are willing to make this fight?
I know they are, because when he signed his new contract with Top Rank at my house before he came down with COVID, he said...
All right, now, why is he laughing when he says that? Is it because he thinks it's ridiculous that a young man in his prime would be affected by that? Or is he laughing because he's disgruntled about it? Because he made some comments saying that, or trying to rebuke Lopez or lambaste him because of the fact that he hadn't gotten the jab. Now, here's the thing. Who is this guy to be telling people to get the jab? First of all, if he does get the jab, and again, I'm no expert, obviously, no medical expert, although I have conducted a couple of emergency surgeries in my time. This guy, if he gets the jab, and then a new variant comes along, and the body's not immunized for the new variant, it's going to be even worse for Barbarum. That's going to be more postponement. So, I don't understand why he's so insistent that Teofimo Lopez gets something in there, in his body. But hey, listen, what happened to my body, my choice, Bob? I thought you were a liberal. Well, why don't you run with that? But anyway, that's what he said. And then they brought in Teofimo Lopez Sr. I think most of you have seen the video, but it's interesting to continue watching this here and listening to exactly what he's saying.
And you know what? I wasn't thinking about Lomachenko in the past, but after this performance, I think that the public wants to see this fight. I think that I could convince my son to fight him again.
Now that's the one that Bucho spoke about in the last episode, and people have been touching up on that comment as well. I think I can convince my son. See, if you tell me, hey, BDA, you want to go to a restaurant? You would tell somebody, hey, I'm going to go ask BDA if he wants to go to the restaurant. Convincing would mean if they tell me to go to an Indian restaurant, which I loathe. I'm sorry to the Indian people out there. I don't like Indian food, all right? Unless I want my house to look like and smell like it's been fumigated. I'm sorry, I just don't go for that, all right? So somebody would have to convince me, and somebody would have to tell another person, hey, I'm going to try to convince BDA to go to an Indian restaurant, because I don't want to. So why is he using this word, convince? Is there a party involved in this whole thing that doesn't want the rematch?
I think that after Kambosos, it could be made. It's going to be the biggest fight in the world, and we can make it happen in December.
All right, now let me fast forward here. Because again, Teofimo Lopez has the Kufit apparently.
Why can't we make it happen there? But I got to talk to him.
You're a real man, and your son's a real man, and I hope he's getting better.
Oh, no,
COVID.
He's 100% out of trouble.
That's good.
He's 100%, and then he said out of something I couldn't really hear. 100%? Then why are they saying that he's not? Why are they saying that he's got the Kufit and that they had to postpone the fight? What's going on here? I'm hearing different things. Also, if you go to the comment section here, again, this is just a rumor. It's just a rumor. But there's some dude here saying Teofimo said he had the Kufit, but the same Friday night he was spotted live on Instagram with Berlanga partying in Miami. Now apparently he's in vacation in Italy when he's supposed to be quarantined. So again, you can't go by all these rumors, but there's something bizarre going on here. A lot of different questions, a lot of different points of views, a lot of different statements that just don't coincide. And I gotta tell you, fellas, my spidey senses are tingling. I tell you what else doesn't give me confidence that this rematch will occur. And that's this statement from a fella here named, well, actually, we'll get to it. It's the article here, the title is Teofimo Management wants Lomachenko to agree to stipulations for the rematch. Stipulations? What type of stipulations? Well, let's see what he has to say. This is from Dave McWater. McWater, sounds like a fucking sandwich. He's Lopez's manager, and he says, we'll do that fight tomorrow, talking about the Lomachenko rematch, as long as Lomachenko agrees to fight for what we did, which is 1.35 million. We took that fight without a rematch clause and got treated like shit throughout. So Loma can fight us on pay-per-view, take the same money we did, or otherwise go fuck himself, said McWater. First of all, this is why when people go, oh, come on, man, like, why do you like watching Vasyl Lomachenko fight, and why do you appreciate him as a fighter? Because I've never seen this type of drama with him. As far as I know, maybe there has been drama and it's been hush-hushed by the press and by the management and the promoters and all that. I've never heard anything happening here with Lomachenko where he goes, no, I want more money for this fight, or we have to postpone it, I'm not ready, blah, blah, blah. And by the way, this Dave McWater fella, he's talking a lot. I wonder if he would keep the same attitude when in front of Lomachenko's team, or would it be a case of that, remember that manager for Jose Ramirez, who apparently was talking a lot of crap to Josh Taylor online, and then once Josh Taylor saw him in person, he was like, no, bro, I didn't say this, I didn't say that. So this guy's talking a lot, saying fuck off. But it's bizarre because, look, Lopez, he wants to get paid. which is understandable. I've said it before, and I'll continue saying it. That boxing pro ranks, it is a tough sport. It's a tough job to go through. It can get very mundane, everyday training. And of course, it puts a lot of wear and tear on the body, which in turn puts a lot of wear and tear on the mind. And so that's why a lot of these guys, they have the physicality to become all-time greats, but it's that mental aspect that prevents a lot of these guys from jumping over that hurdle. That's why when people say, well, why doesn't every fighter train hard? Because training is part of the job itself, and some of these guys, they just don't want to do it. So I understand that Teofimo Lopez and his team, they want to get paid. But now what we're seeing is this guy could have rematched Lomachenko right away. Instead, he went to get paid. He went over to Triller, bathed him out at Top Rank. But this is what these young fellas don't see, or don't foresee rather. Anything can happen. And look at him now. He's going to be sidelined until September. That's almost a year of inactivity. And that's even if the kombucha fight still happens. Because, I mean, the way this is going, it's just postponement after postponement after postponement. It's not looking good, man. So now this guy is saying, the manager of Lopez is saying, come on, well, we got treated like crap. Well, how did they get treated like crap? I still haven't seen anything or any reports indicate that other than what came out of Teofimo Lopez Sr.'s mouth and this guy's mouth, which is that we got treated like shit. How? Didn't you get the money? I mean, we wanted more money. Well, the contract was there for a reason, and it's being proven here with Triller that he's just not a ticket seller. So I'm sorry, listen, there's plenty of guys out there that are talented and that they should be getting paid more if we went by talent being the metric of measurement alone. But that's not the way this works. It's a business. And this guy just ain't really worth all that money, according to the market, which I wish could change, because I do want to see these talented guys, especially since Lopez has fought the guys that were supposed to be put in front of him. But now all of a sudden he's acting like a bit of a diva, I gotta say. And the way his manager's talking, it's just, it doesn't see. And then all the, like I said, you combine that with all the conflicting stories we're getting out there. I don't know, fellas. It's not looking like this rematch is going to happen. Now, somebody says, then there's this statement that Lomachenko made after the Nakatani fight. He says, I always told everybody in the boxing ring, only legacy. He says he wants that legacy. He wants to have a rematch. And he's not in there for the drama of negotiations. He wants the fight. Now, again, we were seeing statements out there indicating that Lopez is not... Oh, hold on a second. Let me call Bucci over here. Ah, shit. Bucci, are you there?
Yep.
How you doing, man? Thank you for being on. Yeah, I'm just talking about... I don't know if you heard what I was talking about. But... Yeah. I mean, look, obviously, this is what I dislike about this, is that we don't know for sure what's going on. All we're getting is bits and pieces, and we got to piece them together and see what's what. But what do you think is going on here? Why, do you think Lopez's team, they don't want the rematch, or are we all crazy here? Are we being pessimistic, rather?
Well, first, I mean, they want that Kombucha fight because apparently he was going to get a lot of money to fight a guy like Kombucha.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, is his name even Kombucha? We keep calling him Kombucha, but whatever. We'll keep calling him Kombucha. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think he wants the Lomachenko. I mean, his father... it looks like his father does want the Lomachenko fight. Now that apparently there's going to be enough money to satisfy his thirst. But I don't understand what he said. Now I have to convince my son. Well, how are you going to convince him? Well, what are the other options? We're trying to convince someone because they don't want to do something, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to fight Lomachenko. I would understand if maybe there's a Devin Haney fight waiting for Teofimo Lopez, but that fight doesn't seem like it's going to happen. That Tank Davis is definitely not going to happen. So what's there to convince the guy off for? And by the way, give me a link for Pete. Pete says he has some inside info or something.
First of all, that's Pete's way of trying to create some drama. He doesn't have anything, but we're gonna get to that. I'm gonna grill Pete. I'm kidding, Pete. I know you're listening. Hold on a second. Let's get Pete in here because he's been pretty involved in this story too. I've heard him on.
According to a very reliable source.
Hold on, I'm calling him.
Bullshitting.
Now, let's see because Pete usually has the inside scoop too. He does his due diligence. So, but yeah, man. I mean, look, listen. Then you got the manager saying, "Yeah, we'll make the rematch." But only if he takes this money. First of all, who's he to dictate the purse? He's the manager. He's not the promoter. And that's the other thing. Look, everyone going in here who wants to see this rematch thinks, well, they got the same promoter, so it should be easy to make. But apparently, it seems like with Teofimo Lopez, nothing's easy, man. In terms of negotiation. Oh, we got Pete here on the line. Pete, are you there? Petey boy. Pete. See, he's teasing us. He's teasing us. He's like, yeah, man, guys, I got the inside scoop. Hey, but Pete, before you get to it, can I ask you, how did you get this information?
The voice.
No, I wanted him to do the line from Heat where he goes, it just comes to you. See, this whole thing is beamed all across the airwaves. You just gotta know how to grab it. See, I know how to grab it. Now, Pete, I can't hear you, man.
Get your shit together.
Yeah, get your mic together, man. I think he's got a new mic too. But anyway, yeah, listen, and then he goes, he says, I hope, Bob Arum says, I hope your son is doing well or recovers. And they go, he's 100%. Okay, which one is it? Is he sick or is he 100%?
He said 100%. He came back. I mean, he didn't finish his sentence though. But what else can you add to contradict what it sounded like? I mean, it sounded like he said he's 100%.
Mm-hmm. So, well, why wouldn't the Lopez team and Lopez himself won the fight though? Because I mean, he says he felt like he won every round against Lomachenko. I mean, he's going by the official scorecards, I guess. You know, the one that only gave Lomachenko one round. Mm-hmm. But so why wouldn't he won the rematch? I don't quite understand. Unless it's possible that he felt
there are
something.
other fights. Yeah, that's the only logical conclusion here. There's other fights for Teofimo Lopez, but which fights would those be?
Well, okay, he's got the Taylor fight. That could be an interesting one. And I still maintain Ryan Garcia. If Ryan Garcia comes back and redeems himself from the whole fuckery that's been going on with him, we'll talk about that later too. That could be a very good money fight, man, because Garcia brings a lot to the table in terms of the social media following and all that. It's two young guys, very brash, flashy. That's what people like, or like Gonzalo says, spicy. So that could be a big money fight. So there's options out there for Lopez, but I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. In the 140, the fact that Teofimo Lopez will not be fighting at 135 next year, according to his father. So that might be a reason why. I mean, maybe convince his son to stay at 135 for one more fight or two more fights, actually, if you count the Kambosos fight. Maybe that's what he needs to convince his son of.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. I was thinking, I forgot about that. The whole. Yeah, you're right. All right, we got Pete. We got, like somebody saying in the chat, Whispering Pete. Uncle Brent apostrophe is calling you Whispering Pete. That sounds like the name of a song or something. Whispering Pete. All right, but Pete, what do you
Joe Biden.
Yeah, he's still Joe Biden. Hey, Pete, I don't know if you heard. I don't know if you heard
what I'm going to talk like Trudeau with a lisp. So,
No, please don't do that. Please don't do that. But I don't know if you heard what I said about the manager, the statements he made about how he wants Loma to take low money and all that. What are you hearing about all this? What's going on here? Is this rematch ever going to happen? Or?
I think so. I mean, why wouldn't it? Teofimo re-signed with Bob Arum. They extended the contract. That interview took place, I guess, while the tank fight was still going on, right? So I saw that the night of the fight. Now, this recent article here in that his manager's talking about, I did not see that yet, but I'm sure they want what they want. But if they want to put it on pay-per-view, it's in-house. Bob Arum's going to make the fight. Teofimo's dad seems like he's dead sober and he's in full control. He's got a t-shirt on with a pair of gold aviator mirrored shades on. He showed Bob Arum a thing or two. Done getting ripped off to go make some real money.
That's right.
Triller just can't find their wallet right now. We bid $6 million, but maybe it was an error. Maybe they just hit the wrong key. They got to bid $6 million and then pay the $6 million, Triller. That's how the way it works. You got to pay it after you bid it. I'm not sure what would stop Teo from COVID. I'm not sure how COVID would stop Teo from fighting if they were going to actually pay him his purse, but maybe they can't find it.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? Wait a minute.
Hey, I'm being serious. Listen, the ticket sales aren't Teofimo's problem. You understand that? You guys bid $6 million. You won the bid. I don't give a fuck if you're selling tickets or not.
That's a good point.
You bid the $6 million. I'm here to fight. You know, you're not putting a swab up my fucking nose. You're not putting a swab up, anybody's nose. Yeah. Go stick a bunch of my Ellerby's nose if you want. You're not taking my temperature.
Come on, Pete.
I'm ready to fight. $6 million. Some real money. We're out from under the slave driver, Bob Arum. But you can see what's going on now. I'm just saying, it's not Tio's problem that ticket sales are what they are. I don't care what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I think Pete's out of line.
A little bit.
For sure, but still, the ticket sales aren't Tio's problem. They bid the $6 million. Let's go.
All right, so do you think that they paid Lopez a couple of extra bucks to say, look, listen, we're going to restructure our marketing campaign here, try to get salvage this event. Just say that you got or do you think they told him, look, do us a solid? In other words, is Lopez doing this pro bono, or do you think they paid him a couple of extra bucks to go along with the narrative?
I don't think they paid him anything. Well, from what I understand, the way it works is they disperse a little bit of the money first, but you think Lopez is doing it out of the kindness of his heart? He doesn't seem like a very flexible negotiator to me. Asking 10 million, he wants to pay Loma 1.3 and he makes 10 million and all this bullshit. So I don't think he's doing any favors over there. He's just waiting, and he's recovering from COVID, obviously.
Yeah, man. His father said he's 100% last Saturday. Now all of a sudden, this guy's bedridden. By the way, we've got Jimmy and Recognize. I don't know if you guys heard the statements that Lopez manager made. But essentially, he's saying that, yeah, we'll do the rematch, but Lomachenko has to accept what we took, the money we took in the first fight. What do you guys think about that? Are they playing hardball again after what happened?
No, that's not. I was going to say, bro, that's not hardball. That's trying to weasel you out of a fight.
Oh, come on.
You know what I mean? Come on. Fuck, he's telling the kid just because you're now got the belt doesn't negate the kid's history, everything he's accomplished. You know what I mean? Like, you can't that doesn't get all wiped away and all of a sudden he goes back to fucking Clarissa Shields purses. That's just not how it goes. So the fact that he's even saying that, it just doesn't look good on him. Like, if he really believes he wiped him out, and if he really believes, if his fans, you listen to them, if you listen to them, it was a one-sided beatdown, then play it back, run the shit back. The fuck's the hard? It should be easy work for you, because now you got him figured out. What the fuck you doing? What are you playing games for?
Money, though. The most according to Teofimo Lopez's father, he said I forgot what he said exactly, but he was satisfied apparently with the potential payday that his son would get against Lomachenko, so that was enough for him. So if there's money, then that fight should happen. But according to Teofimo Lopez's father, also he needs to convince his son to fight Lomachenko. Convince.
Yeah, that was telling. That was very telling when he said that. I don't know if he meant to let that slip, but I guess when you have a couple too many wobbly pops and some fucking nose booger.
Oh, come on. Now, wait a minute. I'm not gonna...
Come on. A dude's sniffling over there like he's got hay fever and fucking, wrong time of the season. Stop
Allegedly.
it.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Let me put the disclaimer up here so we don't get into any litigation later on. But... No, yeah, but Jimmy, your point is well taken, man. And now this manager, by the way, the manager said some harsh words. He goes, he can either take what we give him or he can fuck off. That's what he said. And I'm thinking, is he going to keep that same attitude if he ever sees Lomachenko or his team face to face? Because we saw what happened with Jose Ramirez's manager once he came face to face with Josh Taylor, and he'd been talking shit about Taylor through Twitter. But then when he finally saw him face to face, whoops! All of a sudden he became a bit of a pussycat. So I don't understand this new fad with managers.
Is that how you start a negotiation? It can't be a negotiation if you're already just. Hold on.
Yeah, that's a good point, guys. What do you think about that? Is that how you start a negotiation? Take this or fuck off. Literally, that's what they told him.
Well, it's kind of disrespectful. I don't know. Let's just see where it goes. I just think, honestly, there's no fucking way. Because again, everybody said when we watched that fight, that was not Lomachenko. Something was off. That's not up for debate. So those first 6 rounds were anomaly. This past Saturday night, it has shown the kid is not aged. He's not hit the fucking wall. You know what I mean? If anything, he's looked a little thicker. I still think he looked a little stronger. And there's no way if you're Lopez sitting back going, well, this is going to be as easy as last time. I don't know, man. Any negativity coming from his end, I don't know. It's not a good look as far as I'm concerned.
Jimmy, I wanted to ask you something because the point of contention that most people make here for why the rematch shouldn't happen is because Lomachenko didn't want the rematch. Now, of course, we've heard people say that it was Lopez's team who said no rematch clause, otherwise the fight is off.
It was absolutely Lopez. Make no mistake about that. Those people who were saying, oh, Loma didn't want one, are high. Loma didn't think, obviously, he was going to lose, so he didn't think it was a big deal. Saying, what? Fuck, he doesn't want the rematch clause, because that was the thing. Like, I don't want one. Probably thinking, if I catch fucking lightning in the bottle, I'm not going to want to rematch the kid. And, what do you know? He caught lightning in the ball, as far as I'm concerned, and what is he doing? Looks like he doesn't want to rematch him.
Now, where did that come? Who's the one that said that? Who confirmed the fact that it was Lopez's team that didn't want the rematch clause?
If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me. Well, actually, I'm pretty like 95% sure. I think even Steve's confirmed it. I think I've read it places. I think I've seen credible fucking, people in the industry tweet about it and talk about. I'll see if I can find the article, but I know going out of it, I've heard it multiple times that it was Lopez didn't want the rematch. Let me see if I can find it.
He also said he was moving up after the fight, right? Right after the fight, my last fight at 135.
Yeah, that's what he said before. But beforehand, he said, I ain't having trouble making 135.
Or he said, I didn't have trouble making this weight, but right after this, we're planning on moving up. And after he won the fight, he didn't barely stuck around long enough to take those pictures with the belts before he was looking for, we're moving up. Wait a minute now. Hold on now.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Maybe that was a part.
No, go ahead.
I'm just saying, look, man, you can get wrapped up in what these guys say and what these guys say, but if you just step back, you recognize a pattern, and you could deduce what's going to happen next. So, look, I'm sure for the right money, he don't have to move up to 140, or he can make this weight for the right money. Whoever took the rematch clause off, I'm sure Bob Arum had no problem with that, not tying his. Why would Bob Arum prefer to tie his own hands to a rematch that, that's forcing himself into a rematch? They're both his fighters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they don't want to fight each other again, then, a rematch clause, Bob Arum's rematch clause is not going to affect it one way or the other. Either they're going to fight under a top rank card, which is going to be those two, if that's what Bob wants, or they can go to purse bid or fight and go with somebody else. So it didn't surprise me that they took the rematch clause out of there. But as far as again, it's in suspension right now over there with Trilla. If he's going to get this Kambosos fight done or what? And as soon as that's over with, he'll be back at top rank.
Yeah, it's all very bizarre. That's all I'm saying. And by the way, now that there's rumors out there that supposedly Lopez is not bedridden, but he was actually seen partying with Berlanga in Miami, and now he's in Italy. It's possible he's in Italy. What's that?
Berlanga's living the life of a king for a guy who hasn't won anything yet.
Yeah, it's very, very telling and
I like the kid. I like the kid. I think he's a cool dude, but I think he needs to. I think he needs to chill out. You know what I'm saying?
Puerto Rican privilege.
Maybe. I gotta talk to him. I see him as a little brother.
Yeah, give him a call, man. Give him a call one of these. Go look.
I say, yo, Berlanga.
Tell him. Hey, listen. Tell him. Look, it's Rec. He's gonna know right away who it is. Oh, whoa, the Rec. Yeah, that's for me, baby. Listen, you gotta get your
Queens, bro.
Where'd you get that scar from, little boy eating pussy?
Yeah, but I mean, what do you guys think about this whole thing about the? The manager's telling Lomachenko, yeah.
The manager is like, look, it sounds personal when it comes to Lomachenko. And like, they don't really like him. Now, look, to prove it otherwise, I've heard the same thing too. So it's a rumor, right? That Teofimo didn't want the rematch clause in the initial fight. He wanted that out. I look at it two ways. I look at it as that could be a good strategy in the sense of, well, if I beat him, then we could renegotiate a fight where it's better for me. And there's nothing wrong with that. But obviously Lomachenko probably thought, all right, listen, if this is gonna stall the fight from being signed, then I'll just leave it to the side. Now him saying that, he has to take the same amount. Is that what he said? The same amount?
Yeah.
okay, what if the fight is worth more money? The pot is bigger. Why would he accept the same amount? Why not say, look, you're gonna get the lion's share, which means you're gonna get more money. Right? So let's say 60-40, for example, or let's say 70-30. And let's say the fight is worth $10 million, right? Let's just say like upfront money is $10 million. And so, you get 6.5 or $7 million to Lomachenko's $3 to $3.5 million. What's the problem? What's the problem with taking that? I mean, what? So what? He's going to be making more money than you made in the first fight. See, that's nitpicking. That's like, I'm not really that interested in this fight happening unless everything goes my way. I want you to take the what I took as if Lomachenko made a whole lot of money for fighting Teofimo the first time. If correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he made about what, $3 million?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And this guy made close to $2 million.
Lopez made 1 point something, I think, for the Loma fight, and Loma, I think they said he made a little bit above 3.
A little bit above 3. Okay,
little bit.
Yeah, so you were a relative unknown fighter compared to Lomachenko, so Lomachenko won the fight. The way you do things is you're in that situation. Okay, you beat him, and if the rematch comes, obviously it's a bigger fight now because you beat him. You got a history, and so you're not going to tell him to take the money, Lomachenko, that you took when you were relatively unknown. That doesn't make business sense. That's like trying to cop out. Well, if this fight doesn't happen, it's because I wanted $8.5 million, and I wanted this dude to get only $1.5 million.
When have we seen? We've seen that before too, right? When guys price themselves out, it seems that way too. Yeah.
And the only people that would
that's why he went to purse bid. You understand that?
The only people that would like actually stick up for that are boxing fans that don't want to see a rematch because they're not too confident what happened in the first fight. Okay? You could talk a big game and say, well, look at the scorecards. But we all know that was a close fight. Anybody who watched the fight know that there was some bad tactical errors on Lomachenko's half. And when he was losing rounds, it was because he was inactive. But when the fight became a fight, Lomachenko was actually winning that fight. He was beating him.
Right. I mean,
so that's the only way you can stick. You're not a boxing fan. What you are is you have you have certain feelings for the sport, and you need the image to be a certain way. That's it. You need to be that. Well, if we could skip past Lomachenko and make it look like he's the one that made it hard for a fight, then I can stay with that image forever. That Teofimo beat Lomachenko.
Yeah, that's the way it's looking, man. Look, listen, like Pete said, because I said in the beginning of this show, I said, look, at this point we're all theorizing because we're only getting bits and pieces out there, which might or might not be factual, so it's kind of hard to put together a thing. But Pete said there's a pattern, so we might have to look into that as well. Actions sometimes speak louder than words. Now we got Gonzalo dropping by too. Gonzalo, you there?
Yeah, what's up, Mr. BDA?
How you doing, Gonzalo? Let me ask you something. I don't know if you want to chime in on this one or if I'd like to ask you a question about this in regards to the matchup itself. You let me know how you want to go about it.
Sure. What's the question?
Well, I mean, the question is, when it comes to all the great fights we've had up until right now, it was fantastic first 6 months of boxing so far. Is the Lopez-Lomachenko rematch something that's on the top of your list as far as fights that you want to go before the year ends? Or like, where does that fight sit in your Mount Rushmore fights?
Yeah, that would be a great matchup. It's important that it happens because Teofimo Lopez is not going to make 135 here in the near future. It's probably at the end of this year after the Kambosos fight, and that's it. And the first fight left a lot to be desired. It turned into a better fight, as we all saw. I still think that Teofimo won the last round. So even if we get the Lomachenko that's facing Nakatani, Teofimo still presents a great threat to Lomachenko because he's strong. So it's not going to be any easier in the second fight when Lomachenko tries to close the distance and he's got this big guy in front of him. And obviously he's going to do a better job, and we're just going to have to see what happens because, like I said, Teofimo still won the last round, so he just presents a threat, like, overall in general. From the beginning to the final bell, he's still going to be in there, and we'll see what's going to happen. So, I mean, not to say that Lomachenko can't knock him out, but yeah, it would be interesting to see. I would favor Lomachenko on this one, but I wouldn't count Teofimo Lopez out, especially with the mentality that they have. You know, that he's young, he's brash. We got the father that talks a lot of smack. They're kind of in the position to where when you're ignorant but you're not afraid to lose, you can take big risks, and sometimes, you know, like the first fight, you know, you're just not afraid to lose. You don't put limits on your potential. So yeah, I'm interested in seeing that fight. It's a great fight.
Well, there you have it. Gonzalo, a guy who watches a lot of boxing and who knows what he likes, he's saying that this fight must happen, this rematch. And look, at the end of the day, if Lomachenko feels, and again, I haven't had a peep out of him about complaining about any of this so far, but if you know, sometimes you think, hey, if he wants to save himself the trouble, just let Lopez move up to 140 finally, and let him tango with the.
But here's the problem. Oh, I was going to say, bro, there's a problem with that, at least with one belt. If he goes up to 145, now that makes Davis, I believe he creeps in as the fucking welterweight. He'd hold the belt because he has the super now. You know what I'm saying? So he would have this. So, I mean, that would suck. They would take that belt hostage because, you know, he's already admitted he ain't fighting across the street. But Lomachenko also has a guaranteed purse that Teofimo has nothing to do with, and it's more than what Teofimo is saying he's going to pay him. You know what I'm saying? I think he gets close to $2 million guaranteed. And then on top of that, right? I don't remember Lomachenko when, you know, the young brash lion wanted his fucking chance. Was Lomachenko all disrespectful to him? Fucking, oh, you're taking this, blah blah blah. It's just weird that he's taking this stance now. When Lomachenko gave him his shot, I couldn't find, from what I can see, it looks like when Bob Arum made the contract, he just never put it in. He just told those guys, you guys want it. They both said, fine, they don't have to have it. And because I guess Bob's trying to get away from it. He doesn't like them, he says. He says that's a thing of Eddie Hearn, is ruining boxing with those rematch clauses. He puts them in every fight. But
you know, Jimmy,
I don't know. It's a little odd, but
that's a good point, because I've been trying to do my research for this. They keep saying that, like, the McWater, or whatever his name is, said that Lomachenko's team disrespected them. And Teofimo Lopez Sr. said the same thing. I've yet to find out exactly how they were disrespected. Do you know anything about this? Did you hear any disrespect going their way? I can't find anything.
I haven't heard nothing. I haven't read nothing. I try to find out myself. I'm like, really disrespected? I just found it odd because I guess most of his team, like, as bad as he doesn't speak English, I guess his father and shit speaks none. So there's other people around him. So I don't know. What did they say? Unless they said something through a Ukrainian interpreter. I don't know. But if it was bad enough that it would be considered offensive, so little comes out of Lomachenko's camp. When it does, all the fucking guys jump all over it, the people who cover the sport. So it's just weird that just went under the radar. Something that offensive to them.
Oh, hey. Okay, well, yeah, that's okay. That confirms it then, because maybe, you know, if Steve calls in one of these days, it'd be great to pick his brain and see what he's heard or what happened behind the scenes, because there seems to be a lot of bad blood from right now fermenting between both camps, and I'm curious to see what happened, how it started, if it even started at all. So we certainly need confirmation on that. Speaking of bad blood, first of all, fellas, don't forget to hit the like button, please. That really helps us out. Hit the like button. It takes 2 seconds.
I'm hitting it right now.
I'm going to be... Yeah, there you go, Pete.
Mr. BDA, let me hit one more thing. Let me hit one more point before I hit the like button, because I want to cut you off later on. I want to cut you off now. No, I'm just kidding. But real quick, though, I want to keep something in mind, just so everybody's clear. McWhorter, Teofimo does not give Lomachenko anything to take or leave or fuck off, and Lomachenko doesn't offer Teo anything to take it or leave it. They don't set the fucking prices. They are in contract with the promoter who's negotiating with each one of their managers. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
It's not, listen, I'm sure Teofimo and Aram don't have to love each other. They could hate each other. They could fucking be best friends. It's simply, you're on a contract to work with the guy. And like Jimmy said, you have a minimum per fight. After the Lomachenko fight, there was the next fight on the table. Maybe it was Kambosos, right? Okay. Teofimo was saying, I don't care what my fucking contract says, what my minimum is, right? I don't care if it's 1.3 million. I want more. And I don't care if there's no fans in the audience. I don't care if COVID's, that's your problem. Bob Arum, that's your problem. You promised me the minimum, and I want actually more than that. Arum saying, I'm going to lose money. I can't just fucking lose money. I'm going to go, I'm going to go broke doing it. So basically, that was, okay, fuck this. We're going to purse bid. Someone's going to pay us what we're actually worth, right? And Arum said, take off. Go for it. Okay? Arum makes 20% of whatever that purse bid winds up being. And this number came in so far above and beyond the two promoters' numbers. It's a shitty fucking number, right? It's an off bid. If a bid's that high or low, I bid government jobs all the time. If it's too low or too high, one way or the other, I can't remember what the term is, but it's basically like it's questionable whether they should even keep it in. If it's that much
a non sequitur?
No. I'll find it in a second. But if you're bidding on something in the winning bid, either you're bidding for a job, you're bidding down, or it's a sealed bid, so no one knows where everybody else is going to bid.
Yeah.
If the winning bid is so far off that I'm not saying they can't do it for this money or it's impossible or it must be a mistake, but if it's a certain amount off, they typically rerun the bidding process again because someone doesn't know what they're doing. Someone has made a mistake here, and so they got their real money, but they haven't got their real money is the problem, right? They bid that number, but that fight's not taking place for some reason. So now they're coming back to Top Rank. I guess they're triumphant. They feel triumphant. I think Bob was chuckling because he's like, "It's fair enough. Learn a lesson, right? I mean, now you tried it over there. Come back with me. I'm gonna pay you what's fair. It's not for McWhorter to tell Loma what he's going to take it or leave it or fuck off. You can be rude. You can be nice, but the fight should happen."
Man, let me tell you something. The boxing, now that you mention it, the boxing business is really a harsh sport. Because again, I'll just tell the story real quick. Sam Simon, who used to be a writer and producer for a bunch of sitcoms back in the 80s and 90s, and he was one of the original producers for The Simpsons as well. So he, just imagine the money this guy was making. He had a lot of money and a lot of TV connections. Well, what happened? He signed Lehman Brewster. I think he was acting as his manager or something. So finally, he works hard with Lehman Brewster. I think he even had him living at his house at some point, just really supporting the guy. Finally, Lehman Brewster pulls up the upset against Vladimir Klitschko, knocks him out. Oh, the world's his oyster. What happens? Don King comes in, zwoops Lehman Brewster like it was nothing. Just, hey, oh, you're a big time TV producer, lots of money in the bank. I don't care. I'm Don King. Boom.
I thought it wasn't Don King. I thought it was Al Heyman who did that to him.
To Brewster, I thought it was Don King who signed.
No, wasn't it? Brewster's the one with the bad eye, right? Went blind in his eye.
Yeah.
Heavyweight. No, that was Al Heyman. He came in and souped him up. Actually, was very rude to the Simon dude. Told him tough shit almost to his face. And then after he got told that he couldn't fight anymore, he shouldn't fight anymore. Doctor's report. Al still let him fight, and that's when he got the eye damage. I'm like 99% sure it was Al Heyman in that situation.
But see, that's to Pete's point that maybe Top Rank did go, hey, listen, you want to find out what the market is out there and what else can happen, without us, go for it, man. Because, I mean, look, the guy has the skills and the talent to make it, but he didn't get there either because, I mean, Al Heyman didn't get him there. It wasn't De La Hoya. It wasn't Richard Schaefer. It wasn't Eddie Hearn. It was Top Rank. So, I mean, this team knows a thing or two about building superstars. So, I mean, look, I get that these guys are also...
Jesus Christ.
Hey, whoa, okay, don't take them... Butcher, you're saying that JC thing a lot this last couple of episodes. Why don't you clamp down on that a little bit?
What?
Boy, they.
You're saying JC.
It might have been Don King.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Might have been Don King. Al Heyman's first fighter was Vernon Forrest. If Lehman Brewster was before Vernon Forrest's time, it definitely was Don King. and I think he might have been. And I
Oh,
recall a little
Vernon
bit about
Forrest.
that.
Oh, okay. All right, I went. Okay, I thought the article I read it said Lemon Brewster. Let me check that.
Because Jimmy, Layman Brewster fought in a bunch of Don King cards afterwards. So maybe I don't know if it's possible that he had Heyman as his manager, and at that time Heyman still couldn't contend with Don King, and he was just there as a manager, or I don't know. But I do remember Brewster fought in a bunch of King's super heavyweight cards. Remember those cards where they would have John Ruiz versus John Okendo and Galata versus Ruiz and all those other. Those are some good little cards, man. Boring fights sometimes, but dirty. Nice and sloppy, the way I like
They suck. What are you talking about, man?
Well, some of them were entertaining, Bucho. Come on, man. By the way, fellas, don't forget that the like button really helps us out, spice things up, like Bucho likes to say. Shout out to Jaguar for his contribution with the super chat. Says there's only a one champ at 140, and his name is 3 dots. Yeah, his name is Tank Davis, of course. Come on, Jaguar. Thank you for your contribution, man. Fred Robinson says. Shout out to Fred Robinson for his contributions. Devin Haney will get Theo more money, so why is Theo being protected? I don't think he's being protected. I think he's trying to shop around, or he tried to shop around, found out that Trill doesn't exactly know what they're doing, and so he went back to top right. That's the way I look at it right now.
Who will give Theo more money, though? We don't know.
Say again, Bucho?
Well,
who will give Teofimo Lopez the more money? You know, more like who's the biggest payday for Teofimo Lopez?
Yeah, we're not even to that point yet. But yeah, once he does get back to top rank and he's done, getting paid what he's worth, having fun with Triller over there. I'm sure he's getting the red carpet, waiting for this fucking money to come through. But now that we're back over here, yeah. So Bob will tell him. I mean, like, it sounds like he wants to be a pay-per-view guy. That's what it sounds like, from what I can understand when he had those shades on. And this is Tio's dad talking now, by the way. So convincing him or whatever, I'm not sure how much stroke he has, but from what he's saying, it sounds like they want a pay-per-view fight. All right, so Bob will put you on pay-per-view. If they're both his fighters, why not? I mean, if you want to, so what does he want? $10 million, and he wants Loma to take 1.3, and he wants who gets the pay-per-view money? Does Tio get it all? Does McWhorter get it? I mean, let Bob take care of it. It's just that if ESPN's going to come in with X amount of dollars to air that fight, then they're not going to be worried about pay-per-view. I don't understand why if everybody would just stay in their lane and do their job, the boxer can box, the dad can be the dad, have his drink, manager can ask for what he wants, ask for what he wants, not count the other guy's money, and the promoter can set up the fight, then everybody, the thing goes forward.
Yeah, if you don't trust your promoter, that's the problem, right? And if you're always looking at what other boxers are making and then comparing your purse with the other boxers, and that's not how it works. Because we know how the PBC works anyways. Like, I don't know where they get the fucking money, right? But they overpay their boxers. They put their boxers on pay-per-view when they shouldn't be on pay-per-view. So, but that's not going to work with Top Rank.
Well,
they're a real company.
He did it originally. He overpaid them all by almost a third over industry standard. But Jesus Christ, it's done. The article by Thomas Hauser? He did that 4-part expose on Al Heyman like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Real quick, April 10th, 2004, Brewster knocked out Vladimir Klitschko to become WBO heavyweight champion. His manager at the time, Sam Simon. Then Heyman came calling. Heyman wasn't the power in boxing then that he would become, Simon said several years later, but his modus operandi was pretty much the same. He saw the layman, told him, hey, brother, look at what you could do in some strong representation, yada, yada, yada. Before long, Brewster left Simon, and he was initially contracted with Heyman, called him, and it goes on and on. But yeah, for $2 million, and then it keeps going from there.
Hey, so Heyman actually worked with Don King?
Probably maybe he was just running him as the manager, but as the promoter, he probably worked with King, promotions, but he was just managing Simon Brewster then.
Interesting, very interesting. I didn't know that, man. Shout out to Fred Robinson for his contribution to the Super Chat. Says Theo never left Top Rank. Come on, y'all. It's just one purse bid. Bob still got paid. Let's stop that narrative. Bob fears that the belt will leave Top Rank. Bob fears that the belt will leave Top Rank.
What belt? Because the thing is, Teofimo is going to leave that belt anyways, because he's going to move up to 135 in like 2 fights, or maybe even
exactly.
one fight.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not like, it's not a heavyweight title where the guy's going to stay there forever. He's going to move up in weight.
And nobody's been paid yet.
Hey, by the way,
nobody's been paid yet on top of that, man. Nobody's been paid.
What's with the bowling shirt, man? Are you gonna go bowling later, or did you just come back from bowling?
Pete's the man.
We're in the finals, dude.
Oh yeah,
That's
you're
right.
gonna. First of all, I don't even watch. I don't even watch hockey, so I could give a shit if Montreal. And I saw that.
You don't care?
No, I don't care. And by the way, I saw the clips you were posting of you at the arena. And you were stalking your brother. Let me tell you something. Over there in the United States, somebody with a handgun. If you turn around, if you spook your brother, he doesn't know it's you, man. You could get shot, man. I'm trying to look out for you there, Pete. Come on now.
Take your best shot. It's gonna happen. He's
like that.
Kid's ball some way.
He's like Harvey Keitel in Bad Lieutenant. I've been dodging bullets since I was 16. Yeah, right. All right. What we were gonna say? All right. So yeah, listen.
Shut up the phone lines, man. I think I have a feeling there's people I want to talk about this.
All right.
They have a different point of view.
Yeah.
I wanted to move on to the Donaire thing, but yeah, I'll open up the phone lines, and if people still want to talk about this, we'll make it happen. All right. But in the meantime, you guys, what do you want to keep talking about this? You want me to introduce another subject for the meantime, or Butcher? You
we go with the flow.
Actually, Butcher, you take over,
man. We got with the flow. We got the flow.
Butcher, you take over while I open up the. Take over while
These boxers, they think they're superstars. They deserve to get paid $20 million every fight. Like, come on, guys. Teofimo Lopez, of course, man, he has the potential to become a superstar, but he just beat Lomachenko in a close fight. Let's have a rematch, and then we'll see where this goes.
I mean, it's a big win. Don't get me wrong. It is a big win, but it's like
definitely
you need to calm down.
Yeah, but this is also the thing is because they talked about Lomachenko, how he's like this great fighter. Maybe they're exaggerated a bit. I think he's still a great boxer, but some people believe that all this marketing campaign that the ESPN did on Lomachenko, right? He's one of the best of all time, and now that he lost, they transfer all of that to Teofimo Lopez. Now Teofimo Lopez is supposed to be a super king, undefeated, he's gonna be the greatest of all time. That's not how it fucking works. That's not how it fucking works, man. You can't just win one fight and then all of a sudden take all the accolades of the boxer that you just defeated. That's not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I never heard Teo Sr. before. I mean, I've heard Teo Sr. talk before, but he's really never got on Top Rank about it. Honestly, I think he was basically like asking, again, it's not his role here, but I think he was basically demanding more money from ESPN, right? From ESPN, not really through Bob. I've heard him say a million times, we're happy to death with Bob Arum. We're happy to death. We love Top Rank. And we just want what we're worth. And I never heard Loma even bitch about the rematch. I mean, if you notice on that ESPN card, it's like, it got a little fucking annoying. Like, they keep talking like Loma wants a rematch. Loma wants a rematch. I personally want to see it, but I haven't even heard Loma or his team.
He does though, Pete. He does because
I'm sure he does.
Because no. But the reason why he took on Nakatani was because of Teofimo Lopez, and he said, "I want to beat Nakatani better than Teofimo Lopez." Why is he comparing him to Teofimo Lopez? Because that's the end goal.
Right, he wants to fight the guy.
He does, but he's not gonna beg for it. In other words, he's saying,
why should in the game of boxing, sports being, everything being about the spirit of being competitive, right? You fight the best fighters. He doesn't need to be like, oh, please give me a fight, please. No, listen, you beat me.
Yeah, like Amir Khan.
Yeah, like Amir Khan.
Floyd. Remember that
sweepstakes? Yeah, the Floyd sweepstakes.
The Floyd sweepstakes. Yeah, he just wanted to pay.
Lomachenko really wants to fight because he's obsessed with that fight. He's obsessed with Lopez now. He wants the rematch, but he's obsessed because he's a great fighter and he hardly ever loses. So he wants that rematch for sure. Now, Teofimo Lopez's father and Bob Arum, they shook hands. The reason that I think it's going to happen because Teofimo Sr., they're very interested in the money. They want a big payday. They want to become millionaires, like in the tens. So that's why I think it will happen. Ultimately, the money.
Gonzalo, if he loses that fight in the rematch to Lomachenko, they can always fight a third fight. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's, I have no reason to believe that the fight would just be a total blowout. It would be if I think Loma would beat him if they fought in a rematch. That's just my thinking. I think he would beat him. But then again, I thought he would beat him. Hold on. I thought he would beat him in the first fight. and he lost. Right? I thought Lomachenko was going to beat him in the first fight, and he lost.
Mm-hmm.
But going into this fight, I still think Lomachenko will beat him. But if the fight's not, let's say he does win. Let's say if they were to fight, if he loses that fight, the rematch is still there, barring, let's say he gets blown out, like really, really fucking bad, and that discourages him. But if he loses a close fight, I can't imagine they can't run it back. They can't run that shit back for a third fight.
Yeah, it'll still be a good fight. It won't be like Nakatani because Nakatani's long and he didn't have an inside game. Teofimo Lopez is catch and shoot. He's shorter, so he's gonna wait until Lomachenko punches, and then he's gonna counter, and he's gonna block a lot of shots, and he's gonna explode on the inside as well. But I'll still favor Lomachenko based off the footwork that he displayed, and that now that the shoulders recovered.
Yeah, listen, the rematch is very tantalizing, that's for sure. Hopefully it happens. Now, Fred Robinson doesn't necessarily want the rematch. He just donated the super chat. He says, doesn't anyone want an undisputed 135 besides me? Well, let me say something about that.
Well, there already is an undisputed.
Well, that's what I wanted to say. I said that over at the Thunderdome. I said, undisputed means just that. Can you dispute that the guy is the best? And Lopez beat the best. I mean, look, he's not the best until he beats Devin Haney. Is that what we're saying? I mean, what did Devin Haney do to
Devin Haney is just a contender. Take a back seat and play your position. That's all you are. I don't care about his email belt. He's just a contender. Top two best fighters is the undisputed guy right now, and the guy he took it from. Those are the top two best fighters in that weight class. You're just a contender. Take your contender belt and sit the fuck back. That's what you are.
For all we know, the WBA could create their own franchise champion tomorrow. Well, would that mean that now Teofimo is only a two-belt holder, two-title holder, and there's other? I mean, no, come on. When does he stop, guys? Come on.
These guys have
the undisputed champion because he fought Lomachenko. It was a close fight, in my opinion. Maybe for you, it was a whooping, whatever. But I think Lomachenko deserves a rematch. We deserve a rematch, so we want to see that fight next. All right, forget about Tank Davis. That shit's not gonna happen. And Devin Haney, I don't know. It could happen, but I think Teofimo is ahead of the line.
Yeah,
he's
that fight's not going to happen, Bucho. That fight's not going to happen. These guys are not fighting each other while they're in their early 20s. It's not going to happen. I mean, where's the recent history of these young dudes that have potential to be stars fighting each other this early? There is none. Okay, there's none.
Yeah. And by the way, Teofimo's not going to stay at 135. He can't. His father said maybe one or two fights. That's it.
Yeah.
And he's moving up. And by the way, if he wants a payday, it has to be against Lomachenko, because what would be the next payday? A Devin Haney fight that might never happen. A Teofimo fight that will never happen. Sorry, a Tank Davis fight. Or people are saying, well, what if he moves to 140 and fights Josh Taylor? If he moves up to 140, which he will, I don't think he's going to take that fight immediately. He's not test the waters at 140. I mean, because fucking Josh Taylor is dangerous as fuck, man. It would be crazy for him to just move up and win and fight.
That's a fight he could lose. That's a fight he probably would be an underdog going into that fight.
What do you think Broner has to lose to get down to welterweight to fight Pacquiao in that fight?
That guy's...
This guy's got to shed like fucking 60 pounds to get down to get. He goes from completely out of shape, bar hopping, stealing jewelry, being in court, and all this, to down to
talk about Broner.
Yeah, to step on the scale at 147, Adrian Broner, right? So I know Tio's a big 135 pounder. I understand that. I understand the weight cut's a bitch, and I understand this and that. But for the right money, and for the right fight, this guy will go down to 135 when he needs to be down there. You understand that? I
don't know, man. He looks big, man, for 135. You saw him, Pete, man. You saw that fight against Lomachenko, man. He looked big.
And he's ordinary now, man. He's lost like 3 or 4 of his last 5 fights. I don't know. Yeah, he's high risk. I don't know if he's big reward now, because he's on a losing streak, and the guy shows up and only throws punches. So basically, he's just trying to beat you when he has a chance to.
Gonzalo, I wasn't suggesting Broner. I wasn't suggesting Broner. I was just saying, for instance, if it's an in-house fight, right?
Yeah.
But
If it's an in-house fight,
I see Teofimo as the biggest risk taker. Yeah, he might go up to 40 and automatically challenge for Taylor if they give him the moolah, if they give him a big payday, and
Gonzalez,
he
he
might do
would.
the same thing.
He
Yeah,
will.
with Lomachenko, if they give
He'll
him
do it.
$10 million, he will, because his father will pressure him to do that.
I think if they
And
gave
I
him
don't like
seven, I think if they
I
gave
don't like Teofimo's personality, but one thing that I do have to say, he's probably the bigger risk taker than all them motherfucking clowns.
That's
The
true.
Yeah,
I
but
think
fucking
Gonzalo, if they gave him $7 million, he'll say, "Yeah, I'll take that fight."
yeah,
This
for
whole
sure.
idea that he was going to go back to 130, I knew it was foolish. It's like, dude, no, 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 no. That dude, if he wanted to like fucking pad his career, he would have did it a long time ago. He's only interested in these fights that are challenging and can make him really good money. Like, not ridiculous amount, but enough money to be comfortable. And that's all he want. I think that's why he's still at 135, fighting guys that are much bigger than him with Nakatani.
it's like Bucho said. He's
A
never
lot of
really,
pressure from the
nobody's never
wife
brought anything
too.
up.
I think she might be a little materialistic, you know.
Hold on. Let Pete go, man.
I was just saying it got brought up before, but really Lomachenko's there's not been any complaints from Lomachenko's side about any of the money or whatever. At least if there's an argument, they're not having it in public over the on an interview. It's really not. They probably understand that does no good for Egas Klimas to start bitching about money and everything else. So
he understands who he is, and that's what it is. And some of these boxers think that there's something else. They are superstars, are Floyd or close to Floyd's level, and they should be. That's the reason why they're demanding so much money. It's not how it works. And Lomachenko knows who he is, how much time he has left. He's satisfied, I think, with the amount of
the
money
fighter's
he's
got to
getting.
think like that, right? The fighter's got to think he can beat the world. I mean,
I understand.
Let your fighter do that.
That's
Let
my
him
mentality.
concentrate that way.
That's my mentality. I know I can beat the world. Hey,
Yeah,
listen,
but you
fellas.
don't go ape shit. You don't go crazy and lose your sense of reality. You know what I mean? You guys stay grounded. You know?
Bucho, I gotta go
I
to the
don't-
phone lines.
Yeah, go phone lines. Yeah.
All right. Let's go to. Hold on a second. Fuck. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm just checking out here because now all of a sudden, as soon as I want to, the phone calls are. Okay, I got it.
Mediator, you have to curse? I mean, come on.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you for just keeping me, straightening me out. All right, 337. You're on the air. 337. What's on your mind?
Yo, what's up? It's Dead Game Boxing. What's good with it?
Oh, Dead Game. Thank you for being on, man. What's on your mind?
Oh man, Loma, T.O. I think the whole reason he had to restructure his contract, that's all in that, man. So he's obligated now to fight Lomachenko again. So that's why they have a whole new tune, him and his daddy, the way they're talking about the Loma fight. So he's definitely going to fight Loma after Kambosos. And that's a small possibility that they might cancel the Kambosos fight and make him go straight into Loma.
That's what's going to happen.
Small possibility, but it is a possibility. My thing is right now, I think all these guys can make history. It's right there to be made. You could be undisputed at 40 and 35. So, I mean, that's the biggest achievement. If Tank beat Taylor and then go down and fight Lomachenko or whoever, or if Lomachenko, win and go up and fight at 40, or Devin Haney, one of these guys, bro, it's right there to be made, bro. And I think that's the path Tank is on. Tank is going to try and go undisputed in 2 weight classes.
Oh.
So.
Well, hopefully, I mean, it's going to be hard to do that if he's not. Mayweather said that they don't want to play ball with any other promotional entity. So I guess we'll stay grounded and see what happens, man. Hopefully, it was
Why
all
did he try to become? I'm just curious. Why didn't he try to become an undisputed champion at 130?
I don't know, but I'm just saying right now it's got to be made because the belts are already together. I mean, it's just right there. It's just 2 fights.
Easier.
It's 2 fights.
So
well,
it's easier.
You can be undisputed in 2 weight classes.
Again,
any of them.
For that to happen, he's going to have to play ball with Top Rank, man.
Oh, well, Mayweather, when it comes to the big money and all that, Mayweather can make these comments, but, you know, it is what it is. They say they didn't want this fight with Mario. You know, so I don't know if that was cap.
Yeah, that's a good point. It could be all talk and just setting themselves up in the public's eye as this company that can do everything by themselves. That's a good point. But anyway, that game. Thank you for calling in, man. Got to move on. The phone calls are piling up, but we'll catch you on the next one. All right, man?
Peace out. Peace.
Take it easy, man.
Peace.
See you, Dead Game.
All right, let's go to 470. 470, you're on the air. 470, what's on your mind?
What's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Yes, indeed, we can hear you, man.
So here's my take on it. First of all, I got to give props to both Lomachenko and Lopez. They're the only two guys who are willing to put their nuts on the line, in those low weight classes. And I don't know why the previous caller was bringing up Tank Davis's name into the discussion. And if I'm Teofimo Lopez, if I take a look around and I look at what Tank Davis is doing, Ryan Garcia is doing, Devin Haney's doing, they ain't putting their nuts on the line like he did against Lomachenko. So he's right to make sure he's getting paid. He's, to go up against Lomachenko, because none of those guys will have the courage to do that, especially at the age he did it when he was 23. So he's got every right to get every last dollar, because he's the only guy who showed the courage to get in there with Lomachenko. Tank Davis wasn't doing it. Ryan Garcia wasn't doing it. Devin Haney wasn't. I mean, he was talking, but they weren't doing it. So, I support the dude going after his money and trying to get the best deal he can get for himself.
I agree, man. The money, he wants to get paid. He's taking risks. He should be allowed to do that. But he also has to understand that boxing is a business. If he's not drawing flies, if he's not a pay-per-view star, there's only so much money he can demand. I mean, Lomachenko himself ain't exactly a big money maker either. So, I mean, I know it's a big risk to take on a guy like him, like Lomachenko, but at the end of the day, too, it's, he's not going to get paid $4 million for that type of fight. It's not, apparently that's not what the market dictates. I could be wrong. Maybe Bob Arum is playing him. I don't know. But it just seems like a lot of these fighters, they want to become superstars and get paid hundreds of millions when they're not exactly superstars themselves.
Well, I don't know if the new contract that he signed with Bob Arum, I don't think the promoter can dictate who he fights, but I think the fight will happen. I just think he's playing hardball to get as much money as he can. Like I said, I think the guy's taking a look around and he's seeing what these guys are getting for who they're fighting, and he's like, "Fuck, I gotta go fight Lomachenko." And he's looking at what he's getting. I think it's not sitting right with him. And honestly, I don't see how he really benefits from fighting Lomachenko again. He already won the fight. He's undefeated. So, I mean, if he beats him again, they're just going to say Lomachenko's old. You already did it. You know what I'm saying? I don't see him as having anything to gain. He already won the fight. So I think there might be a lack of motivation there also. But he's just playing hardball. And I like I said, I admire the kid because of what he did at 23 years old, getting in there with Vasil Lomachenko. I don't really see the fight changing from the first one, but it'll just be another tough fight, and I think the younger guy will come out on top.
Right. Well, there's an argument to be made too that it is the biggest fight for him right now, not necessarily the Devin Haney fight. So yeah,
by beating Lomachenko, he put himself in that situation, right, where now the rematch is actually bigger than the first fight, because a lot of people thought he was the underdog going into that fight, and he pulled off the upset. So that's what makes it bigger.
Was the Nakatani performance.
Right. So then you got the guy, he comes back, he fights a fighter that you fought and he beats him in a more impressive fashion. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to beat you, but it brings more attention to the fight. It's like, yo, this dude is still serious. He still wants to fight you, and you didn't knock him out. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you knocked him out. You whitewashed them. The scorecards may have said that, but in reality, you didn't whitewash them. It was a close fight. So, this rematch potentially could be bigger. Yeah, it could. If you promote it the right way.
You think it sells on pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Well, listen. Yeah, I think he wanted to go after. I think he wanted to go after Tank. I think he wanted to go after, Ryan Garcia, he wanted to go after those guys. I think he knows Lomachenko's a very, very tough fight, and he probably sees those as easier fights for him, and where he can also make a lot of money. But either way, you know what I'm saying? I give it up to both Lomachenko and Lopez. I think they're going to do it again, and it's going to be a good fight.
Yeah, hopefully it happens, man. It's on. Go ahead, Gonzalo. But hold on, Gonzalo. Before you go, thank you, caller. Thank you, caller, for your call. A good call. We'll catch you on the next one, all right, man? Thank you for calling in.
All right, guys.
All right, Gonzalo. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
Before I go into
It'll be guaranteed fireworks. Boxing intuition will tell you, especially if you saw the first fight, what's going to happen in this fight. No holds bar. Like the song by Phil Collins, I can feel it in the air tonight. It's going to be one of those type of fights.
Gonzalo knows how to hype up the fights, man. I gotta tell you, he always comes up with the good taglines. I can imagine Gonzalo when he's got girls over, or when he used to have girls over to his apartment. He was like Patrick Bateman putting on Genesis. This is Phil Collins' song. I feel he really matured as an artist in this album. It's like, shit, man, God, Gonzalo, you creep me out, man. Let's go to. By the way, fellas, don't forget to hit the like button. I was gonna say hit the air tonight. No, hit the like button, please.
With a raincoat on, Gonzalo's got a raincoat and a shiny.
Yeah. All right, let's go to 956. You're on the air. 956. What's on your mind?
Yes, I was gonna say to Teofimo Lopez. I think Teofimo Lopez trained with his dad. He was brought up training with his dad all those years from his childhood to his right now, right? His early 20s. And I think that's gonna catch up to him because I see a lot of flaws in Teal's game, right? I mean, okay, let me say this: the only thing he knows how to do is pot shot and counter. That's it. He doesn't know how to set up an offense. And what I mean by that is look at the Nakatani fight. He couldn't set up an offense versus Nakatani. That's why he looked like shit. Meanwhile, Verdejo and Lomachenko both just pieced up Nakatani. I mean, Verdejo was piecing up Nakatani real bad until Verdejo got gassed out. You know what I'm saying? If Verdejo didn't gas out, he would have beat the shit out of Nakatani. But anyways, I think Teal is very flawed. All you have to do versus Teal is catch his rhythm and land a good jab on his face. It's wide open for a jab. I was saying this on a different live. I think Mikey Garcia in 2018 would fuck up Teofimo Lopez real bad. Mikey knows how to read rhythm. He knows how to read rhythm real good, and he'll time Teal. Teal does the same thing. He'll pot shot or counter and then reset in the same rhythm with his head up in the air, just waiting for a good jab. Now with Lomachenko definitely has the skill to pull it off, but I didn't think Lomachenko's too small. He's naturally 130, maybe even 126, and Teal is naturally like 147. That's why I think Loma's too small. But if you put Teal against someone like Taylor, he gets fucked up real bad. And people want to say this, they want to say, oh, well, Lomachenko's trained by his dad. Well, Lomachenko's dad was the Ukrainian head coach, for the amateur team. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
sure.
Teal's dad, who is Teal's dad? He's never trained an elite boxer before. He's not a world-class trainer. His son is very gifted athletically. Yes, he did teach his son some good combos, some good counters, but Teal can't set up.
Okay, hold on a second now. I believe we might be back. Yeah, I think we're back now. We should be back. Refresh. We should be back. Refresh. Yeah, I don't know what happened, fellas, but it's the rain. I blame the rain on this. Rain and thunder. I think it did something to the internet. What do you want from me? It's out of my pay grade. It's out of my control, and that's one of the things you learn in. By the way, hold on a second. People are saying that no. Yeah, it's back now. That's what I said. We're back. I don't understand why you fellas keep trying to undermine my position here. When I'm telling you we're back, that means we're back. All right, we're back. Yes, absolutely. That's what I said. All right. Shout out to. Hold on a second. Are we back or? Because I can't see the stream here. Hold on a second. Play. Oh my goodness gracious! Can you believe this? BDA boxing just my where's Discord? All right.
You must pay them.
Sorry to interrupt, fellas.
We're live, guys. We're live.
Yeah, we're live. Are we live? Okay, we're back. Sorry about that, fellas. I don't know. It's raining. Internet goes out. I don't know what's going on. But we are back. If anyone's listening out there, just refresh hit the refresh button, refresh your page. You should be able to hear us. Sorry to interrupt, fellas, but yeah, I heard a little bit of what you were talking about, the last two words, and I think you guys were talking about things you're not supposed to talk about on the air. So I'm here to save you. I'm here to save you.
Well, we're talking about T.O. We're talking about T.O. The reason why he can't make this fight. The first fight date was put off. The second fight date was put off because evidently there's an issue with a virus right now. But listen, Ryan Garcia is saying that he's depressed and he's gonna retire, and he's canceling his fight date. What do you think that's about? You think he's really depressed?
No.
In other words, there's exceptions in these contracts for medical issues where you can't hold a guy and make him go forward. My own gut feeling tells me, and it's typically right more than it's wrong, is that for some reason they don't want to fight on this particular date because they're not happy with something. Right?
Money.
Yeah, money. Because maybe Triller bid it this way, and now they're coming in and saying, "Hey, listen, between you and me, these tickets aren't, this or that or this or that. It's their problem. It's their problem." But see, they can't just go running back to Bob when everybody knows it. You don't think Bob Arum understands what's going on? He said it. He goes, "Listen, if they bid $6 million and they think it's worth $6 million, and I only think it's worth 2.7, then I guess they got their own reasons, right? They're either
Hey, Pete, they could have told him, listen, between me and you and anybody with half a brain knows this is not going to fucking sell.
How far? Yeah, okay, but that's their problem. That's Trilla's problem. They bid $6 million. Businesses take losses all the time on purpose and structure. They got their own reasons. Heyman will lose his ass on a fighter. He'll lose a ton of money for him and the fighter. Why would you do this? Because he's trying to hold him out for other money in another direction, right? So you can't get involved in their reasons for losing their money or taking their risk. They put a bid in. If you put a bid in to do a job and you happen to you misunderstand what the job is and you put a bid that's way too low, what do? You call them up and say, "Hey, listen, I got to, I know I was the low bidder on this, right? I know I was the winning bid, but recognize if you bid a job that, how do I say? What's the same? So you're bidding low, right? So somebody bids $3 million, another person bids $2.9 million, and then you bid $1 million and you win. Sealed bid, and they open them up and you bid $1 million and you win. Are you happy about that, or are you going, "What the fuck? Wait, these other two guys that have been in the business for 30 years, they bid triple what I bid? I'm that much lower? Oh shit!" Aren't you thinking like, "What the fuck? I missed something, right?" Obviously, I missed something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? There's a question there, and typically
that wouldn't happen, but yeah, hypothetically speaking.
Yeah, you wouldn't make a mistake, not you. I'm saying somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, but there's no calling that back.
There is no
problem.
Yep.
So what do? You stall for time. Someone gets COVID. They fucking around with J-Lo.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way,
he's looking at naked pictures of J-Lo. That's what it was.
Yeah, you put those photographs a week ago, I think. You can tell those are fake, man. What's the matter with you?
Stop it! You stop right there. That was her.
Yeah. Why is she gonna do naked? It just makes no.
Because let me tell you why. Because she loves me. That's why.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. You're right, man. Thank you for clarifying that. I'm starting to restart the phone lines again just to see if this whole thing works. But yeah, should we move on to the whole Donaire thing? Because what exactly happened? Donaire wanted the testing. He says Casimiro didn't want it. Now Donaire is saying that Casimiro badmouthed his wife, and he's saying, "Well, now fight's off." Like you guys say, isn't that more motivation to fight the guy if he badmouthed your wife?
I would think so. I'd be like, okay. I wouldn't even show like that much emotion. All right, just prove it in the ring. Let's see what happens in the ring.
Didn't Duran flip off? Was it Sugar Ray Leonard's wife or something? Or pushed her? He did something to Sugar Ray Leonard's wife.
Didn't he say he would fuck her?
Yeah, something like that. I think he grabbed his dick and looked at her or something like that. Yeah, something something disrespectful. Yeah, I remember that.
Imagine.
I have a question. What happened? What did Donaire's wife say or do?
I don't know. She was just talking nonsense, like Me Too movement, and I don't like her.
Wait.
Yeah, but BDA brought it up. Like Donaire's, his wife said something
allowed.
like, "What?
Yeah.
What was the?"
She was like, "I'll sue you."
I don't know. Why did you make? What was that voice? All right. Here's the statement from Nonito Donaire, and he did a live stream or something where he was with his wife and her father, I believe. But this is the official statement that I saw here from Boxing News or whatever it's called. I stand for VADA 24/7, 365 days a year, testing for all boxers. This should never be refused or delayed. We canceled this fight when they delayed turning in the VADA paperwork for 5 days. We have proof that the opposing side was neither honest nor forthcoming in providing the proper information to begin VADA drug testing, and after we canceled the fight, then and only then did the paperwork suddenly appear. As much as I want to knock him out, I'm going to take the high road, and instead of highlighting his misbehaviors, I'm going to give his example the stage, or not going to give him the payday, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's what he's saying. He's saying that it's because of the testing. Which and by the way, there's Michael Benson, who I think is Casimiro's manager. I think he's also affiliated with Pacquiao in some way, form or another. And he was on the internet badmouthing Victor Conti, who's the strength and conditioning coach for Donaire. And this guy was put up a meme of Conti in front of a used cars lot, saying, "Oh, this guy used to be a used car salesman." And the photograph has Victor Conti, and they photoshopped 2 dildos in his hand. Now, listen, that sounds like something I would Photoshop, not a fucking guy that's representing Pacquiao and Casimiro. So, fellas, what's going on?
Are you talking about Sean Gibbons?
Yeah, Sean Gibbons. I'm sorry. Yeah, not Michael Benson. Yeah, Sean Gibbons.
Yeah,
I think that's the guy, right?
Gibbons. Yeah. Sean used to be, I know, he was actually pretty active on Twitter before he became deep involved with MK and Pacquiao. Now he's a little full of himself, really, actually, seriously it is. I don't blame Donaire. There's some fuckery going on there. It kind of blows up Showtime. I mean, remember when they released Showtime, the PBC released their things? I thought there was only 2 really decent cards on there. It was the fucking Jamal, the baby Jamal 154 fight against Casimiro, and this one with Donaire. Now that's blown out of the water. So,
well, so let me ask you. Like, I'm trying to get my head around the article. Fights off because they couldn't. Reason why it gets personal because he's a liar. He won't agree to the drug testing, and the wife comes in somehow. How?
Well, she's the manager. She manages Donaire.
Shit.
She's heavily involved. She's part of exactly.
She's also the trainer too.
But can I say something about Nonito Donaire too? Because I'm looking at this from both angles, right? He's the one that wants testing, but again, he's associated with Victor Conti, and there's always some suspicion there. And let's not forget, okay, Donaire has been looking great these last 2 years. He made a resurgence, but all these people that always talk about PEDs, nobody finds it suspicious that as he gets older, this guy all of a sudden is getting better. I mean, I understand he's always had those skills, and he did regress a little bit when he was fighting Jesse Magdaleno and Carl Frampton and Leon now, but I mean, maybe these guys have. But then again, he's the one insisting on the testing. So, what do you guys think? What's going on here? I mean,
the way I feel about people. Look, in his case, he has been doing VADA 24. What is it? 365 days out of the year. So you can't really knock him on that. He was like one of the first people that signed up for that 5 years ago. So maybe even more. But
yeah, it was supposed to be everybody to PBC. Remember, that was a part of their marketing when they said we were going to be the first promotional, that does rigorous testing and then also brain studying and more.
And I'm not saying Victor Conti is just teaching him how to beat a test, but that was his job as when he ran Balco. Now, look. He could be maybe a guy like Victor Conti now knows what's legal and knows how to use that stuff and say, look, use this and whatever. But you can't take away that Victor Conti, his job at Balco, the reason why a lot of athletes from all sports went to him was because 2 things. He had the stuff that'll give you the benefits that you're looking for. The second and most important thing was he knew how to beat tests. Remember, a lot of these guys didn't get caught cheating, meaning that they took a test and they failed. A lot of these guys got caught on his list as customers. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Barry Bonds. Right. Barry Bonds who didn't rat him out. I think he did in a way like when they said, "Well, you're on his list." I'm like, "Well, the only thing Barry Bonds said, well, I mean, then talk to him." He told me the stuff was good. You know, he told me that this was all this stuff was clean. That's all Barry Bonds ever said. But
hey, told Wilder he was benching 310. I mean, you told him he was benching more weight than me. Hey, Mr. BDA, check the phone line.
Actually, if he's benching 310, man, I think Shane Mosley got him, bro. Shane Mosley was benching 400, so I don't know. But yeah, so you got to understand something that it's not too far fetched that this guy is teaching whoever gets involved with him. I'm talking about Victor Conti. Whoever gets involved with him, how to beat testing, basically.
Hey, by the way, was it Victor? That's a good point. Recognize. I mean, you got to be suspicious of some of these guys. You know what I mean? I mean, they've admitted themselves sometimes that the thrill they get is it comes off of cheating the system. So I don't think that goes away from one day to the next. Also, was it Victor Conti that got Sammy Sosa the bleach for the skin, or was that somebody else?
No. He just did
cool guy.
Hey, by the way, fellas.
Chlorine.
The chlorine, whatever it was. We've got the phone lines back open, and I think we got a phone call here. Let's go to.
It's Victor Conti.
It's Victor Conti. It's hold on. Is it even working? Please. 818. Can you hear us? 818. You're on the air.
Hi guys.
Oh shit! Hold on a second.
He's already what? 38, 30.
818. Sorry, you're on the air. Now we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, with the Casimiro and Donaire. I think Donaire is just old. You know, he's what, 37, 38. I think he'd rather just cash out and fight Inoue one more time and unify than have to. You know, he's 38. That's a lot to ask of an old man to fight 2-3 times in a year.
Do you think Donaire is being a beta in this situation? Beta.
The whole out because his wife is suspected or something. I don't know, man. Honestly, who gives a fuck? That's his thing, you know. To me, it's just about money. He wants to get paid for fighting Inoue, and that's the money fight in that weight class. And he's 38, and he doesn't want to fight 2-3 times a year. You know, he even before this, he mentioned after if he were to beat Casimiro, he made no agreement to fight Rigo. So
that's a good point.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but here's my thing. I mean, everybody says, "Oh, you know, Donaire's wife, she's good for him, and she's a good manager, or whatever." But I'm talking from my perspective. I'm an old-fashioned fella. If I were ever negotiating with my manager or my promoter or something, my wife comes in, I'd be like, "Excuse me, honey, did the spatula walk away from the kitchen? What's going on here? Go back there, make us a cup of coffee." No, that's just me. That's just me.
Hey, you're cracking a joke, but listen. Hey, you're cracking a joke, but look. The whole idea of going away to fight camp, right,
go back.
is not to go to the mountain, right? It's to get away from it's to concentrate on the fight, right? And part of that, I'm sorry, I mean, don't take this the wrong way, but wives are a pain in the ass, right? They're a fucking pain in the ass sometimes.
No, let's
Why
now they
have your
get
wife? Huh? I'm sorry, but I'm just saying.
I agree, no, PP. I'm with you on 1,000%.
It's a fucking distraction already, man. Come on.
Hey, like, listen, I got enough problems in the world. Just fucking cook.
Yeah, cook. Do whatever you want. Hey, listen.
Could you imagine? Yeah, you're going to bed, and then at night she starts talking to you about like the negotiations and all that shit. Like, come on,
She's
man.
arguing.
You know what happened?
You heard what he called me. You heard what he called me, Nonito. Nonito, he called me a bitch. You heard that? You gonna do something about?
She's got some experience on the world level because she used to be in the Olympics for Taekwondo, I believe. She might even have been like a gold medalist. So she's also a strength and conditioning coach.
Look, to be fair,
she could also be trying to pull out and to make a point about it, you know.
Hold on. First of all, Jimmy, you're sounding very low for some reason. Maybe you should jump.
Creep, Jimmy.
Yeah, jump off.
Thanks a lot, man.
Sorry about that. All right, sorry, and then let's get to the caller before we move on. Caller, yes, go ahead.
All right, caller.
Now I was gonna say she could also be telling him to put up that front so he can pull out. You know, she is his wife. No, she is his wife. He's 30, like I said, he's 38. Go for the Inoue fight. If he loses, you know, it is what it is, but he got a last payday out of it. And if he wins, great for him, you know. But with Casimiro, it's like, it's a great fight for the fans, but for him, it's just a lot of work.
Perhaps, yeah. Perhaps, although I do feel like Casimiro's is tailor-made for Donaire, but maybe his wife knows something that we don't, man. So, listen, caller, thank you. Yeah, that's the way it seems.
Taylor, man, I think Donaire knocks him the fuck out.
There you go, man. There
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing.
I agree
I'm
with
not,
you.
you know. All right. I'll thank you guys later.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Take it easy. Call back next time, all right, man? Yeah, I reckon that you should be.
Any better, BDA?
Oh yeah, now you sound. Actually, now you sound way too loud. Let me lower your volume there a little bit.
sound
There we
fine.
go. You sound fantastic, Jimmy. The voice of an angel.
You gonna say something, BDA? You gonna say something?
There you go.
I was gonna say that we gotta take another phone call right here, and then we'll get back to the. Well, actually, I don't know what people want to talk about because we moved on from the. All right, 773.
Can we just say real quick? I know that a lot of people are saying, and I see that on Twitter too. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, he just wants to go to Donaire." Inoue, but Inoue is the fucking problem. Top rank. Inoue's not with PBC, and I think it's pretty much beneficial that they're not doing outside fights.
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting point.
Yeah, promotional battle. Yeah. How about this? Teofimo Lopez, he thinks he made it. He thinks he made it, and you see this time and time again with fighters, is they think, oh, I did it. I got over the hump. I won the world title. Now everybody's got to cater to me. I'm the hot shot, this and that. We seen this with Andy Ruiz. He thought he made it. He beat Joshua. And here it is, man. I beat him. Now I'm going to go on my speaking tour. I'm going to do my Snickers thing. And what happened when he came back? He came back and he got destroyed. So, Teofimo Lopez is walking around like his shit don't stink. And he's about to get shit on by Lomachenko because he's pissed off.
But wait a minute, Kevin. I gotta call Kevin.
Down a peg. Lopez needs to get knocked down a peg.
Kevin, the same thing happened to you though. Pete, hold on. I mean, look, Kevin, the same thing happened to you though. When you won the Caller of the Year, you went on a bit of a bender, making
you
demands.
was a little cocky after that. That's
one more time on the phone calls.
I got a little cocky. I was demanding more airtime. You're right. I was demanding more airtime. I was demanding more respect. But the problem is I wasn't demanding more money. And it's all about the money. Money. It's all about the money.
Kevin,
you know,
let me ask you about
super chat. That's what it was.
Yeah, let me ask you, Kevin, about the Donaire thing. Is Donaire acting like a beta, or does he have a right to demand testing from Casimiro?
This is the point regarding Nito. It's this is what the dude wants. He wants him to fight him. He's trying to do fighting words. I'm going to go after his way, so he signs to fight me. No, you don't give in to what he wants. This is what these clowns do. They think if they make it personal, trash you personally, then now they'll have no choice but to fight me. No, I got a better idea. Hit the road, Jack. You ain't getting in the ring with me. You think you're going to disrespect me and I'm going to hop in the ring with you? Nope, you ain't getting what you want, because this is what these clowns do. They like to make it personal, talk about family, this and that, and they try to get them to step in the ring with them, try to go out of their way to do that. Not going to work. Donaire, very smart, man of respect, integrity. The clown is going to get clowned on.
Oh, all right. Well, there you have it, Kevin, Caller of the Year, telling you how it is. Kevin, thank you for your call. We got to move on, but call back next time and keep that
You better believe it.
attitude.
I think
Better
Kevin
believe it. Shout out to all
put
your
himself back
boys.
on the map.
Recognize Billy, Bob, Fred, Jim, Tim, Tommy, and Joe. Have a good day.
There you go, man.
Kevin,
Take it easy out there.
Vada's going to be coming by for a
They call
test
me-
for you. We
You
need
call
your
me Tommy?
whereabouts.
Pete says Vada's
Call
gonna
me
be.
fucking Tommy.
Yeah, Pete says
I
that
think he
Vada's
called
gonna
you
be.
Timmy Tom.
Jeez, Louise. Pete says that Vada's gonna be knocking on Kevin's door in order to make sure that there's no
We're going to need
shenanigans.
your
That's true.
whereabouts, Kev. We're going to get a sample because we want to see what you're on. Kevin.
Sounds something good. I'll tell you that.
You think you'll
Amazing.
show for that test?
That call was amazing. Have you forgiven your mother? All right.
Boxing circling the drain.
You do the silent prayer.
Lesbian. All right. Let's go. When you're dealing with evil. All right. Let's go to.
Where's that from?
Let's go. All right, we'll tell you later. But let's go to 917. 917.
New
you're
York,
there.
New York.
Please.
Yo, man, BDA, you better be careful. The NSA is listening on you guys like they're doing with Tucker Carlson, man. You might saying too many wild shit.
Oh, is this my boy David? Is this my boy David from Queens?
Yep.
David.
What's good, recognized, bro? We in Queens is hot as fucking Queens today, bro. What is good, man? What's going on out here?
I'll be back in couple of days. I'll be back in Queens.
Oh yeah, where'd you go?
I'm everywhere, brother. I can't tell you that. I can't disclose my location.
He'll meet you on Van Sickland Avenue about 2:00 in the morning for a hand-to-hand. Hey, get off the speakerphone, man. We can't barely
I'll meet you in Astoria Park, David. I'll meet you in Astoria Park.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. When the fights come back, man, we're gonna link up and some shit, you know?
Get off
that
speaker.
But yeah, so I was listening to you guys earlier about whether Loma and Lopez will happen. I think as fans, we have real reasons to be optimistic for this fight because there's not really any hindrance out there. They're on the same promotional company, and as someone brought up earlier, Teofimo re-signed for a reason. So I think we could get our hopes up. We won't be disappointed. And I'm wondering, all right, for the second fight, what if Teofimo became too complacent? Like he's young, he feels like the shit. He's on top of the world, right? Let's say he got a little too complacent. He got a little too comfortable. And then Lomachenko, he's fighting with a chip on his shoulder because I guess people make fun of him, stuff like that. So he's fired up, as we can see from the Nakatani fight. He's not fucking around. So I'm wondering, could it be, right? In the previous fight, it was a very close fight, or close fight, whatever. If the last fight was a close fight, if Teofimo comes into this fight not focused, with family problems or whatever, he could lose his title. So I don't want this to happen. I'm still rooting for him to win, though. Still rooting for him to win. It could go either way. But I think, we could expect this fight to happen.
Listen, that's a good point. I want both guys at 100% so that there's no more excuses. I want, if Teo's still feeling the effects of the COVID, give him some syrup, some hot cocoa, marshmallows, get him to bed early. Make sure that he shows 100% for both the kombucha fight and the Lomachenko rematch, if indeed it happens.
David makes a good point. I just wanted to touch on one of them. Like, I don't see it as complacent, but it kind of falls into that category. Like, look, when you're the winner of a fight, of a close fight, especially when a guy made an adjustment, and in this case, it was lack of activity in the first half of the fight that lost him those rounds, and then he picked up the activity and he was winning the second half of the fight. Right, Lomachenko Lopez. You see. It's really the one that's going to really have to make the adjustment. If I'm to go on what Lomachenko did in this last fight, he used both hands, right? I think it's going to have to be Lopez, because Lopez, if he does the same thing, and Lomachenko starts off the rematch like it's round 13, I think going in. Picking up from I think Lomachenko obviously wins that advantage because he already made the adjustments from the first fight in the second half of the fight.
It's just as interesting.
I don't know how this is possible, but I think the second fight is going to be even closer than the first fight.
Perhaps, man. Perhaps that's why we want to see it, because there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of
it's going to be a tough fight. Absolutely.
It's going to be a tough fight for both guys. So, listen, David, thank you for your call. We got to move on, but thank you for your call. We'll catch you on the next one, all right, man?
All right, man. You already know, man. Be good, fellas.
Take it easy. Stay out of the heat. Stay out of the heat, man. All right. By the way, fellas, I want to give a shout out to everybody donating with the super chat. I fell behind on some of them. Jaguar donating with the super chat and says, "Pay the internet bill." Well, yeah, that's what I've been doing. That's what I'm angry about, because this isn't the first time this fucking shit gets disconnected. So shout out to Jaguar.
All the super chats and playing with those girls over there in Canada, all right?
I hope they're girls, because one of them had a big jaw. Steve Brown, shout out to Steve Brown.
Is it hot up there in Montreal too today?
It's humid. Yeah, it's humid.
Yeah, it's 108 real feel in Massachusetts today. 108. Yeah, my balls are fucking. I need a spatula to get my balls off my thigh.
Oscar?
Yeah, it's bad. I didn't need that image, Jimmy. I didn't.
Graphic.
Yeah, it's also super hot here in the Philippines as well.
I bet. I don't know about
every day over there.
Florida, we're perfect right now.
He's got the AC on and everything. Yeah. Shout out to
So a hurricane comes through.
Hold on a second, real quick, guys. Shout out to Steve Brown for his contribution to the Super Jazz. Says Donaire is canceling a fight over some dude talking smack about his wife. That is some heavy snowflake practice. I agree, Steve. I mean, look, I feel for the guy. Nobody wants to have his wife talk to that way, but he's got a chip about that. Sorry about that. And shout out to One Foot Out the Door. He says keeping it 100, all sides / angles consideration. Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, guys, for your contribution. I'm sorry for cursing, but I thought we were off the air. That's why I cursed. Because I said not again, man.
We're all men here. Relax.
I mean, Keith Thurman, he got a little bit like he started trash talking and talking smack on Pacquiao, but I don't think that Keith Thurman would ever have mentioned anything about his wife. But because the reason I'm bringing up Pacquiao because Donaire in his mind, he might be thinking himself as like an all-time great, first ballot Hall of Famer. He's 38. He's a legend. So for one new guy on the come up, a brash guy like that, especially being another Filipino, to start talking smack like that, you know, he's probably thinking, who is this guy, you know?
I really have a question. Who is this guy in terms of who does he, is he a PBC guy or is he a top rank? Who is the guy,
PBC guy.
All right.
Casimiro.
Sean Gibbons.
Yeah. It's like maybe the wife was. I stand by what I said about distractions, right? It just it's probably not the right place. That's just the way I look at it. It's just a distraction, a possible distraction. But there seems to be many times a big pain in the ass getting a PBC guy to sign for a fight on another platform. That when the belts come in, that's when it starts getting tricky, and that's how Kambosos is here, by the way. You know, it all seems to get a little complicated. It just holds up. It just holds things. It's just a further delay, an additional delay. That boxing's got a zillion delays, and these fights, you know, they strategically take long enough when if either side's not ready. But when you add in all these extra distractions and delays, you know, it's what gets talked about in between good fights.
The wife might be playing it up too, just to sell. We don't know if this is just a tactic to build up the fight, right?
Gonzalo, you just hit. I was thinking about that minutes before we went on the air. I said, yeah, it's true. What if, because again, it's little guys, they're not exactly superstars. What if this is all a ploy? I mean, I hate to have to put on my tinfoil hat on, but Gonzalo brings up a good theory there. What if this is all part? I mean, do you guys put it past any of these guys?
But it fits you so well.
What's that?
I said it fits you so well, brother.
Oh, wait a minute. What's that supposed to mean? I'm not going to stand here and take insults from you guys.
You're just good at it, dude.
Jimmy, you better stop it, man. And by the way, not for nothing, but every time I bring up a conspiracy, Jimmy goes, nah, I don't think so, dude. And then two episodes later, off the air, he goes, yo, guys, I just read up on some of this stuff. You know, it's like, it's sort of all of a sudden I get him on the
Hey, by the way, I'm going to continue with the super chats here. Jaguar, thank you for your contribution. He says, remember what Delilah did to Samson?
Hey, wait a minute. Did you guys miss when I read those, or is that one?
No, you didn't read those.
I did read. Okay, fuck it. Read it back because I don't think people heard it then.
I think you stopped at Jaguar. Jaguar said, "Remember what Delilah did to Samson?" I guess that's has to do with Donaire. Don't trust women. Basically, 1 foot out the door. Thank you for your contribution. He says, keeping it a 100, all sides, angles, consideration. All right. Thank you for your contribution. I think that's it.
All right. Fantastic.
And speaking of no offense to women, Tio, you want to make the right money? You want to make the big bucks? Okay, you want to make some big bucks, huh? Trailer's going to give you $6 million and you go get fucking married? For your first big payday? Wise up, man. You gotta wise up.
That's true, man.
Someone talk some sense into this kid.
Yeah, Donaire was like, man, I got the muscle to make this happen. And the boxing world said, you get the muscle to jack yourself off, man. That's what's up.
That's right.
So
you got the muscle to jack yourself off.
Yeah, I should have done it with the Chicano accent. You got the muscle to jack yourself off, I say. All right. I wanted to bring something up here. Because we talked a little bit about Ryan Garcia. He came out, he put up a tweet saying, I'm back or something like that. It's like, listen, nobody cares, man. It's already the month of June. It's already June. The last time he fought was in January. I mean, look, listen, get this guy out of here, man. But I want to bring up our good friend, Amir Khan. He says, check this statement out. He says, I don't want to be the one to break Brook's face. Because we're talking to him about the possibility of finally getting in there with his arch nemesis. And he goes, look, in boxing, there's a lot of punishment. Fighters take, but the punishment that Kell has taken in his career is life-changing. He's had both his eye sockets broken. He could lose an eye, and he's been operated on all around his face. I don't want to be the one to break his face or hurt him in that way where he's going to be hurt for the rest of his life. We may not like each other, but I'm not one of those guys. I'm a respectful guy, and I know he has a family that he goes back home. Let's see how things plays out in the next couple of days. Guys, is it me or is it seems like he's being extremely passive-aggressive here? It's like, man, I don't want to hurt him. I mean, I could seriously hurt him in there.
And since when did Khan have that kind of power?
Exactly.
and since when is like Amir Khan any better than Kell Brook and the getting hurt department? This dude's got a dented chin, man. All you gotta do is bitch slap him and you fucking knock him out.
Yeah, that's why I said, man, Floyd made a mistake when he picked Madonna over Khan, because I know that Mayweather was feather fisted in his older age, especially at welterweight. But I think, even with that, he still had a good chance of stopping Khan.
Exactly. Yeah, I think so too, man.
I think that was one of the toughest fights he could have taken at the time. I'm not talking about this Amir Khan where, Crawford almost accidentally knocked him out in the first round of their fight. If he's saying that, if Khan's saying that as a joke, it's not funny. If he's being sarcastic that I don't have the power to do it, you're knocking yourself. If you're saying you don't want to fight Brook, we know that already. You haven't fought him. It's been fucking 10 years already. And if you're saying that you care for his well-being, then just leave. Who cares?
Yeah. What I'm saying is Amir Khan has no room to talk about another fighter's punch resistance, Pete.
Yeah.
Right?
You're totally right. Crawford almost accidentally knocked him out with a hook in the first round of their fight.
Accidentally.
He almost accidentally he had to carry him for 5 more rounds. You think I'm lying? Go watch it. It's like in Raging Bull when he goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, I tapped him on his head," and the guy started going fucking crazy all over the ring.
I mean, look,
he almost knocked him out in the first with a little hook.
Yeah, look, Amir Khan is a guy that quit essentially against Terence Crawford. He wasn't doing that bad in certain regards, but I mean, he was about to get iced, and this guy saying, I mean, I don't know what happened between him and Kell Brook, but it's an interesting dynamic between both guys. Khan has been caught sending cock pictures over the internet. He had a problem where the rumor is that Joshua banged his wife. Kell Brook, the rumor is actually allegedly he's into he likes the Hershey Highway apparently. So these guys, well, that's what
I think Khan and Brook were caught up in a lovers' quarrel. That's what I think. I think they were messing with the same guy.
These guys are gonna fight one day, and no one's gonna.
Khan's mad that fucking Brook used his sock to clean up.
Oh, come on! Now wait a minute. I mean,
these guys are already. It's already too late. If you think about it, it really is already too late, and it's like 2 old men that just have some kind of a beef with each other. They're damn near 70, and they're still fuck him. It's like, guys, we're at the end of the road here. Career-wise, they're both.
It's embarrassing.
No one even wants to see it anymore. I mean, really, at this point. Sorry, BDA. What?
But don't you think it could still make money though, if we're talking about the finances?
I mean, will it sell? That's the question. I don't fucking know. I mean, maybe it's a bit. Maybe they're still calling for it over in the UK. I don't know. Who's calling for it over here?
I am. I wouldn't mind seeing one of those guys ice each other.
I mean, if it's free on Showtime or something, or I mean, I don't even know where they fight. Khan fights on a top rank card, and Brook's still a PBC fighter.
That's a good question, man. Look, if it happens, I'm pretty sure if they start negotiating, I'm pretty sure Amir Khan's gonna go, okay, well, let's make the fight, but we got to do it at 147, knowing that Kell Brook looked like an Ethiopian refugee in his fight against Crawford. I mean, the guy was drained to the bone. It has to be.
They would have to stay in the UK, and they would probably try to put it on a pay-per-view over there. Personally, I wouldn't watch the fucking thing if it happened in my backyard. I'd pull the fucking shades down.
Come on, Jimmy, man. Yeah, Jimmy, you're pretty you're on fire today, man. You're on the warpath. You're not taking shit from anybody.
I'm tired of the bullshit, man. Really? Khan? I mean, I saw the same thing in boxing scene. I'm like, Khan, really? Didn't that dude retire like 2 years ago? What the fuck's going on?
Yeah, you're right, man. I mean, it's. Hey, by the way,
We all agree that that whatever the fight could have generated in terms of income or pay-per-view buys or whatever, that's already passed, right? We all agree on that, right? This has not been put off for more money, right? Like there's a limit. There's a limit to what you can build up a fight for, and then you actually go over the hill, and now we're just losing money for every year that you wait to make the fight.
That's
right? It's
true.
just
Yeah.
less people are going to watch it. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right, man.
Well,
You're right. I mean, it's.
Yeah, I think Khan didn't want to get knocked out by Brook. He got knocked out by everybody else. For some reason, he disliked that kid enough where it just meant too much to him to get sparked out by Brook.
Yep.
I think so too, man. Yeah, I think it's personal, and he does not want to get. Because so even now, man, if they fight now, I still think Brook knocks him out, man.
That's what I'm
Good
saying.
chance he
got knocked out
would,
by everybody
man.
else, though. He got knocked out like a couple of one-punch. He got laid out after the.
The only one that beat him on points was Lamont Peterson, right?
Yeah, and that was close. That was a disputed fight. By the way,
I
I
thought
love.
Khan won that fight, but yeah.
Yeah, I love the refereeing that before when he's giving them the instructions. You know how guys go. Remember what I say, you must obey and shit like that. This motherfucker actually said, "Remember, guys. All right, guys. Let's touch hands and let's throw some thunder." And I'm thinking, oof, I want to turn on the
Was that in
TV
the
set
UK?
right then and there, man. Let's throw some thunder. And he screamed
Was
it.
that in the UK?
No, that was in Peterson. Where's Peterson from? Maryland or
DC.
DC. Okay, there you go. Yeah, that's
that fight. Yeah. Peterson Khan. Yeah. That was in Washington D.C.
Washington
who is this
D.C.
guy? That's that chocolate city. Referee.
Oh man! Hey, by the way, listen. This was supposed to be initially a pound for pound show where we're gonna do the dreaded pound for pound list and all that, but we're gonna save it for the next episode because again, this year has actually been a pretty good year for boxing. If you think about it, all the fights that have been going on, we've had a pretty nice, decent 6 months, man. I feel. What do you fellas think?
Yeah, oh hell yeah! You doing pound for pound show, BD? I want to put Tank in there. Can't wait. All right.
What are you guys laughing at?
Oh,
yeah,
nothing.
pound for pound. Yeah, I'll put Tank in there.
Oh,
yeah,
come on.
It's been good boxing.
Can't put Tank in there, yeah. Go ahead, Gonzalo. What did you say?
No, it's been a good 6 months. There's more lapses in between this year than there was last.
Mhm.
Just last year was also the COVID, but in the beginning half of the last year, there was a lot of fights back to back. Now what is it like 3 weeks until we get the Deontay Wilder and 2 weeks till we get that Castano, or is it 3 weeks as well?
Great
I don't
question.
know. There's like more gaps in between. But
There's
anyway, thanks.
But hold on, Gonzalo. There's Chris Colbert this Saturday taking on the very tough Niam Bayad. That's on Showtime, so that's going to be an interesting one. Tim Zoo, forget about that one. It's been changed. Next Friday, we've got, not this one, the next one, Ramirez versus Sullivan Barrera. That's going to be an interesting one. Diaz Jr. versus Fortuna. That's a solid Friday card right there. And then on July the 17th, that's a Saturday, the one you mentioned, Gonzalo, Charlo versus Castaño. And then the next week, the big heavyweight affair. By the way, speaking of heavyweights, I know most people out there have already seen it, but you guys saw the Wilder bench pressing video, right?
Just today. Just this afternoon, they showed it to me.
I mean, is this guy... I'm serious, man, because he's still a human being and all that. Aren't you guys starting to feel sorry for the guy a little bit about the cringe fest going on?
No.
No.
He just is what he is, man. He's a simple guy. He's simple Jack.
First of all, he bench pressed 310 pounds. I mean, I know a lot of people who do that shit, okay?
First of all, that wasn't 310.
It's a little hard for him because he's got long arms, I think, to bench press a lot of weight.
Well, that part's true, but that wasn't 310 pounds, by the way.
Whatever it was, it's like not impressive.
How much was it, Pete?
It was maybe about 235. Anthony and I, Thunderdome. I'm looking at it earlier. How can it be 310 pounds when 315 is 3 Cadillacs, 3 plates, 3 plates and a bar is 315. So he had 1 plate. It looked like one of those ones you do cleans with. Like rubberized, so it's 55 pounds, 235s, and then a 5 on the end. I think they just told him it was 310 pounds.
You think he's that dumb? He just,
Yeah.
Admin tweeted the same thing. That fucking weirdo. He strategically placed his camera, have him squatting, and he goes, "Yeah, I ate 310," and then he tweeted a bunch of stuff saying how all Wilder fans are training heavy with Wilder to get, in case anything pops off that night. I swear to God. And then, fucking Haymate's tweeting him saying, "Yeah, I like how you strategically placed the camera so you can't see the plates." It's like, what a fucking donkey. And that's what he said, 310.
I wonder why the FBI is not fucking following these guys. These guys are crazy, bro.
Oh, man.
They're harmless.
We're training in case anything pops off. Like, what
pops off, yeah. Oh, yeah, the shit he's tweeting, it's fucking insane. But but they're all using the 310, too. And I'm like, I was around lifting for a long time. I don't think I've ever seen anybody squat 310 just because the weird combination of plates you got to use.
The only reason that I think he would do that, Jimmy, is because he was probably working out. I think it was a 35 and maybe a 25. Then you had like a 10 on there or a 15 maybe. But wait, what I'm saying is that maybe he was working out with like 250. Then all of a sudden he just went up slightly, bumped it up, and he got up to 310 by doing that in increments. I don't know.
Well, yeah, 310. Well, 3 plates on either side, right? A 45 is Olympic plates, 45 each. That's 315 because the bar's 45 pounds. A 310's weird. You got to use like a 245s on either side, and then a 25, a 10, and a 2.5. I don't even know what I'm saying.
What I'm saying, Jimmy.
No, I know. I'm not.
If you go from 2 plates to 3, that's a big jump. You might want to go from 275 to 285, right? And start increasing your strength like that. That's what I'm thinking. That's why I had this.
I mean, I'd never recommend a boxer to bench press. Anyways, I think it's absolutely asinine for a boxer to bench press, but that's just me.
That's because you're old school. You're from the old school.
Well, no, it's just you're locking your shoulders in. It's not in boxing. You want to keep complete forced range. If anything, you do between the bench weighted push-ups. You do weighted dips. You do everything that you break the bucket, you break the plane in your shoulder joints, the strength in your shoulder joints. Bench pressing is just it's a powerlifting thing to put on mass and overall body strength. It's just not good for a boxer.
I agree, man.
Especially someone his weight too. It's just, it's a surprise. That's not very heavy weight for an athlete. An athlete of his size.
Remember when Shane Mosley was bench pressing and he had a deep chest, and then he started losing his speed? Because of that fucking deep chest. I mean, it just didn't really do much for him. Now, let me play this clip here.
It tightens up your shoulder girdle, too.
Ah, there you go. See, that's the thing. Now, this is the clip. I think most people have seen it, but I think for those of you that haven't seen it, it's his reaction is the thing that gets to me here.
Can I turn it up a little bit?
Come on, D! Come on! Get it!
Why are they screaming so much?
Who the fuck is that?
I mean, what the fuck is that?
Is that really Wilder?
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, he's losing his mind. Yeah.
Listen to him when he walked up to the fucking bench. He says, "I don't even know if you can hear this, but he goes, shit, you looking ugly.
Shit, you looking ugly.
Looking like a birthday cake.
Let me play it because I can barely hear your version. Hold on.
I'm gonna take this.
All right.
I got shit. She looking ugly.
Oh, she looking ugly. I think he's talking about the bench press. He's got a name for the bench press, I think. And okay, so let's rewind and let's see the reaction.
A fucking clown.
Look at his fucking socks. He's like a fucking kid, man.
Isn't that lughead alarm supposed to go off?
Oh, come on!
Damn, look at this fucking kid.
Somebody in the comment section of that video, somebody wrote, "Why would he post this?" And that's the same question I asked myself. Why would anyone post this of themselves?
Simple Jack, man. Simple Jack.
He got helped a little too much. That bar tilted to the right side.
Yeah.
Not only that, he's doing it wrong too. His legs are lifting from the ground. That's not how you do it.
Yeah, I gotta see this video. Where his ass is coming off the bench, dude.
Yeah, like his legs.
Oh, so he's arching his back. So he's using. Oh my god, what a dumb.
His calves are bulging out. His calves are like a bantamweights, and they're out of control. The thing is this, guys. BDA, if you back up, not to bore you with this shit. I haven't fucking lifted in about 10 years up until last week, and I almost died. But I will say this: the biggest plate there, that first black one, that big black one. No offense, Deontay. The big black one right there is either a 45 or maybe to me they look like those rubber 55-pound ones you can power clean with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we go down from there to 2 plates. I guess we're next to each other. It might be 35s. I'm assuming we're talking about 35. So it's 140 more pounds. And then whatever's on the end there's little 5s. So it's 140 and 135. I mean, it's not 310.
Those are tens. The ones in the end are tens. So he's got, I tell you right now, he's got 45 or 50, the black ones. I'm gonna say 45. Then the silver ones are they could be 35 or 25s. I'll say 35. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
That's right.
And then on the end you got 10. So let's say 45, 35, 70, 10, 80.
That's 225. 225.
Yeah.
Just put 2 plates
and
on.
And he's screaming like that with 225 pounds.
Yeah.
But he's getting off the bench and he's pointing to the camera and he's going 310, baby. 310 pounds. So they just told him it was 310. Right?
Yeah, exactly. They're trying to use
unless the 100-pound plates.
Jimmy, watch the screen. Okay, watch the YouTube screen if you can, because I'm gonna play the video again just to hear the.
I gotta get back up to the apartment. I'm downstairs, so let me get to my computer because I can't watch with my phone.
Jimmy's got a complete viewing station. He's got a stereo. He's got the satellite dish, phone, tablet, the whole thing, man.
Well, I live in a duplex, but we don't rent the bottom floor. I leave it for my the bottom apartment we just keep it for extra stuff.
Wait a minute. Wait. That's all you
We
need
live
to
on the
say,
second floor. Yeah, we own a duplex, but we don't rent out the bottom floor because I hate neighbors.
Oh, come on. You would love to have me as a neighbor, though.
I would just listen. I'd have you talk to me until I fall asleep every night.
Hey, what that's supposed to mean? I make you. You know what I'm saying? All right. Okay. Can I play it now? I don't know if you're watching the screen. All right. I'll play it.
I'm ready.
The knees down. That's Riggindow's legs.
He's
Those
ready.
are the Riggindow's calves. With those 8th grader socks on.
Yeah, 8th grader socks on.
3. Help! Come on, D! Come on! Get it!
Nah, he didn't lift it. He didn't lift it.
What is it?
He almost broke the little leg extension attachment off that little Ricky Dink bench using the leg extension.
Yeah, he did, man. Hold on.
God damn.
What does the shirt say? The T-shirt says the most special boy in the world, or what's it? Number 1.
Listen.
I can't see it. It's out of
Special ed.
focus.
It says special ed.
Exactly. This is making fun of this guy's less fortunate, man.
Oh yeah. Jimmy, what'd you think of that, man?
He's speechless.
I think he's delayed, man.
Exactly. He's fucking appalled.
I'm like, why are they putting it up there? I don't understand. Why would they post that? I just don't get it. What would be the reasoning behind that?
Hey,
it's embarrassing to him. It's like a joke or something because he looks at the corner and goes 310.
Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna say the 2 black plates are 50, right? I'm gonna give them the benefit. They're 50 pounders. The 2 silver plates are 45 pounds. Okay, so you got right there. You got 95, and then the one on the bottom, the last one, because it looks pretty big. Let's say it's 25. All right, so you got 45, 50, that's 95, 25 more, 130 on one side, 130 on the other side. So obviously you got 260 plus the bar. Let's say the bar.
Short. He's just 90 pounds short. Is the problem.
And he didn't bench it. He didn't clearly bench that.
Yeah, that aside, who knows why he's doing a 1 rep max? Fucking who knows? But guy, 3 plates is 315. If you want 310, it's going to be On each side of the bar now, it's going to be 45, 45, 35, 5.
Yeah.
That's going to be the stack on each side. Three plates is 315. You need to knock off 5 pounds. It's going to be 2 45s, a 35, a 5 and a 2.5. All right. You just need to shave off 5 pounds off of that. That's not enough weight. But the man's going to break the goddamn bench. He's got 2 spotters on each side. I don't know whether I have a spotter in the middle. If you keep playing this clip, he points at the camera and yells out 310, starts doing the train horn. They show him doing front raises and they zoom in on his face on the wall. I mean,
well, hold on. Let's see it. And by the way, it would have been funny if when he goes choo choo. Imagine he's got they give him a little kid. They give him a train conductor costume, and then he's all happy there. Hold on. Let's see this.
Be a train. You say I'm gonna run you over with a train, baby. Whoa, whoa. 310.
Yeah, listen. He didn't lift that fucking weight. See the guy on the right, the guy spotting on the right. Like if you're in a competition, like first off, you're gonna have a spotter, but if they even touch the bar, it doesn't count. So the fact that dude had to grab the right, you see how his right was fucking collapsing. That happens a lot with guys who are right-handed because they overcompensate. But his ass came off the fucking bench.
Yep.
His ass came off the bench. He was arching like a fucking maniac, so he was using every muscle other than the ones he was supposed to use, and the dudes were helping him. Yeah, that was probably around, you see, even if they were 100-pound fucking plates on either side, I mean, that's still, around 310 pounds tops.
They zoom in later.
Yeah.
They zoom in later.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it was 210.
They're not 100s, because I was trying.
One at a time, first. One at a time. So somebody go first before everybody.
No, I was gonna say I gave him the max. I gave him because anybody who's worked out, they know the plates. There's 50-pound plates. There's 45-pound plates. There's 25-pound plates. So I gave him the max in that order. And when you do the max, and then you take the bar into consideration, there are bars that weigh like 40 pounds, right? So
they're all standard as 45. That's the standard. Then there's good bench bars that weigh 80.
So it's 300 plus pounds that he's lifting, right? But he didn't lift it. He didn't. He did not totally lift that.
Dude, a fucking professional athlete of his fucking size should be repping with 310 pounds. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
that's
but
a fucking joke, dude.
I think you guys are missing something here, and I feel like I have to be the one to point out. There's such a thing as called as the placebo effect. He doesn't have to know that he didn't lift 300. All he has to do is believe it, achieve it. What was it he was saying? Believe it, achieve it.
Believe it. No.
I want to get.
I don't know that crazy fucking thing.
Right. But that's what he's on. So if he believes,
I failed you, man. I failed.
That's okay, man. I forgot it too. But I think he already has the hard part solved. He believes now. Now all he has to do is show up in the ring and get it done. That's what I think.
500. When I tell him 900, 900 pounds.
Well, next time, maybe next time that's what they're going to do.
I just can't fucking believe he screamed like that and reacted that way to 310 pounds. Holy fucking shit. Oh my God. That's unbelievable that he reacted like that.
Anybody could do that.
Fucking.
Look at Rigondeaux's calves. Look at Rigo's calves.
I'm gonna bench press today.
So, dude, skinny neck, skinny forearm, skinny calf. He just, to Gonzalo's point, that does help. I mean, that does hinder a little with the longer arms. That can be kind of a hindrance, but not for a professional athlete. At his weight and size, he should be doing reps with 310 pounds. Like 10 to 12, like nothing.
Easy. Imagine Breeden had to say
Look, let me explain this.
All right, sorry about that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, look, when you train, you do make noises. Like you do scream sometimes when you're like, you're fucking pushing yourself to the max. Anybody who's ever bench pressed like Pete and Jimmy, right?
Hey, what about me, man?
You too. That's what I meant to say. Any guys that like really like push themselves to work out with heavy weights, you kind of like, when you're about to finish, you kind of scream, ah, sounds like you're jerking off almost, right? Like, ah, you do that. But what he's doing is like, he didn't expect himself to pick that up. He didn't really, but like in his mind, he didn't know he was that strong. So he lets out an extra scream. He's like, ah, like he's fucking.
The same when he's got a guy hurt. He's a spaz.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
No, we got Chief on the line.
We can, Chief.
For the love of Christ.
Hello?
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. So, Jimmy, you've benched before. Pete, you say you have to.
No.
And I know I have. So when someone's pulling the bar off you when you get at a stuck point. So the thing, this is half the battle because he thinks he lifted it. He knows good and damn well if he locked his arms out on his own or not. When you hit that point where you can't finish it off, if someone's done any type of help at all. So if that's the placebo effect for him, he's extremely gullible. On top of that, you're saying 300. You said that's probably around 315 pounds. Okay, I was
negative
18.
I didn't say that.
I'm talking in general. Okay, so thank you very much.
Yeah, shut up.
And
sorry.
And I'm not done yet. At 18, I was able at 120 pounds. I was able to bench 250. So if that's 315 and he's 220 pounds, Jimmy's completely right. There's not much special about this.
Exactly, there isn't because, dude, I know guys who 310 pounds in the gym, at a regular. You go to a gym, right, where you get guys that work out. They're not like fucking professional athletes. Maybe some of them have backgrounds in like playing football and shit like that. Dude, you go to a gym in Florida, bro. There's guys benching 300 pounds easy. They're benching it. They're not. They're not doing none of that stuff.
Now,
I'm not camera crew with you.
Oh man! Hey, recognize he's the master of impressions because he just listened to this clip 3-4 times and he's got it down now. 218, man.
So I'm not like Gonzalez said. I'm not 6'6" with those long arms. Okay, I'm much shorter than that. And just a quick high school note in addition to what I said, there was a guy who's about 6'3", 6'4", and he was making fun of me one time when I was on the bench. I was like, you can't bench much more than I can. He was a big guy. It was 155 pounds that I was working with one time. It wasn't big. I was just repping it out. And since he's making fun of me, I basically told him to F off. He picked it up and started curling it because he was arm strong. He wasn't chest strong because those long arms are his. But his biceps were enormous. Now, this is not Deontay Wilder I'm describing. This was a football player. But you have strength in different ways when it comes to lifting weights, especially to your body frame. Yep. Benching 315, which is if he thinks Terry Norris could bench 315. So this isn't impressive.
Shane Mosley. There's a rumor that Jay that Shane Mosley benched. I don't know how true it is, but he benched 400 pounds.
Allegedly, he did that in high school because he was on the powerlifting team. Now he didn't bench it. It was the bench movement, but it was an explosive movement. It wasn't regular repping out. It was with pause, but there was no bounce. He left it down. He lowered it down slowly, and then he exploded up with it, and he could only do it one time.
Hey, that's
still pretty impressive.
Yeah. Well, for a guy that fought at 139 pounds, it's very impressive.
Boxing Chief knows all the stats, man. He's
almost, like 400 pounds at that size is almost world record type shit.
But again, this is allegedly, but there's a way to look at it because it was his high school weightlifting team. So there's a way to look it up. There'd have to be a record of it. It was in a competition.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Hey, maybe we could.
I used to train at the Universe Gym, and there was a kid there, Dan Smith, an IFBB pro, and he's 6'5", a black dude, mulatto actually. His dad was black, his mom was white, but he was a pro bodybuilder, and he's almost Wilder's side, a couple inches shorter. I mean, so long arms and everything.
Jimmy, sorry to interrupt you, man. Sorry to interrupt you,
Yep.
but you're sounding very low again.
Okay, so yeah, he used to do 315 for like fucking reps of 20. He used to warm up with 315. He'd go up to 505.
Yeah.
But he was a big dude. He had me spot him once. We was doing behind the neck presses. He was the dude I told you 315. I'm like, that's like me clean jerking. Are you kidding me? How am I supposed to do that?
Yo, Jimmy, give me a spot, man.
Yeah, hey, kid, can you give me a spot? That's how he asked me. I'm like, I'm going to stand behind him in the shoulder press machine, and he got 3 plates on either side. So that means like I'm standing up to it. It's at my collar. So that means I have to overhand and clean and jerk it towards my chin if he gets in trouble. I told him, I said, dude, you get fucking locked up, dude. You're dead. I'm not pulling this thing off you in this position.
Let me tell you something, man.
Yeah,
Let me
which is
tell you
why you don't
something.
need this,
A guy came up to me once in the gym, and this is, I had to set the example right away that nobody comes talk to me when I'm working out. When I call it doing the business. So one guy told me, "Hey, listen, can you spot me?" This is what I replied. Now, yeah, they kicked me out of the gym. They kicked me out of the gym, but nobody ever asked me to spot them again. So that's the moral
Yeah,
of the
they were
story.
like, "Oh, never mind, bro. Sorry, man."
Dude, people can be real dinks about that. I've heard dudes tell them fucking people, hey, can you give me a spot? People say, then don't touch. If you can't handle the weight, don't use it.
Oh.
Listen, I'll say one thing. Like Jay was saying. Well, number one, I know it's not. He didn't lift it officially like an Olympic style lift where you have to pause at the very bottom and come up. It's very, very hard to do. That's one. Number two, to what Jay was saying earlier. Only reason I was saying I didn't say it was 315 is while they're saying it's 310. All we were saying was, in addition to how bizarre he is, if you lifted before.
Right, yeah, I jumped in late. I didn't try and accuse you of doing a false weight.
I didn't feel accused.
That's what it sounded like, though.
But I'm
That's
saying
what
if
it
you look
sounded
at the video, if you look at the video and you've lifted before, you'll see that it just the weights don't add. The weights just don't add up. And if you play the video,
I gave it the max. I gave it the max of the plates, and I'm like,
keep playing the video. You'll see them. They close in on the sides of the weights. They show them doing another rep from the side. And you'll
There's no way
see
that's 315. There's no way that's 315s, 345s on each side.
That's right.
I don't know jack about math, but I know practical math. I don't know what 45 times 5 is, but I know if you put two 45s on each side of a 45-pound bar, that's 225 pounds.
Dude, my brother just sent me a text. He's watching it. My brother still works out. He still bench presses and all that. He's like, no way, that's three. He said, no way. That's 300 over 300 pounds.
It looks like around
Keep playing
295.
the video. You'll see the video. Keep playing it. You'll see they close right in on it. He's got a collar on the end. The black ones are 45. The big black ones, the big old black ones. You know what I'm saying? Are 45.
Come on, man. What
and
the
then
fuck?
there's the what? I'm just saying the big black weights. Then there's 35s. If you keep playing the video, they zoom right in on his face on the wall, which is eerie too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Here we go. They have a they didn't know.
They show him doing front raises. Back up a little bit. Look at Scorsese working this camera.
Scorsese. Yeah, they got some avatar.
He's doing front raises, right? He's doing front raise. And then look at this. Keep zooming in. Keep zooming in. Move in.
Sound like a porn director, man. What the fuck?
The fuck is this guy doing? All right, here we go. Look.
Ready for
what
the
am I
money
looking
shot,
at?
Deontay?
A 45, a 35, and a 10. You just saw it go up and down.
Wait a minute. So maybe he was warming up.
Look.
Hold on. You can actually see the weight of the one of the silver ones. So hold on a second. Ah, there we go. Ah, fuck! It's out of if.
So,
I gotta do this frame
is less
by
weight
frame.
now than the other. This is less weight than the because he does it very easily down and up.
Let's see what that outside weight is.
I'm trying to see if it focuses at some point.
That's a 10.
It's right. It's a 10.
There's no way it's
35.
Right,
The next
because a
one's a
35 is that
35.
much. Right, a 35 is not that much bigger than a 25. So there wouldn't be that much of a gap between the outside weight and that next one up if it was a 25 and a 35. I can't point to it because I can point to it on my phone all I want to. But so if that's a 10 and those are 35s, he's benching 225 right now.
Correct.
Yeah.
The shot before where he maxed out. Now he went up pretty easy with this, right? So he's
minus whatever the collars are weighing. I don't know what the collars weigh.
Yeah. The shot before this, though, with the max out shot where he almost broke the leg extension thing.
All right, that's
was
25
this
pounds.
plus 70 pounds. You get it? It was this plus 70.
The silver one is 25 pounds, or maybe a little. Yeah, 25 pounds because 11 point something kilograms is 25 pounds. The black one could be 45s, or maybe 50. Maybe 50. I'm not. Listen, I got to get a better look at it. They could be 50. No, I'm serious. Look, so let's say 25 and 50.
Well, that would be very rare though. A 50-pound plate. They're very rare that play. It's mostly 45.
You can get them. You could get a 50 pounds.
Oh yeah, you can get them. I don't know. Yeah. Oh yeah.
But provided they're not more than 40, the average 45 pounds, it's still only 255 pounds.
Yeah,
that's correct.
You're just adding 15 pounds to what I said. I said it was 225 because we thought those were 10s. You're just adding 15 pounds to each side minus the collars because I don't know how much those weigh. I imagine they weigh, more than a pound or two.
My brother swears that's 45 pounds. Yeah, my brother's like fucking. He's like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Those are 45, and that he goes, the silver ones is no more than 25
Right.
My brother thinks he's only lifting. Right, he's lifting 200. My brother says he's lifting only 200 pounds. That's what he thinks.
He's correct. He's right. You see these black ones here? The reason they're rubberized like that is so you can do power cleans with them, and you can drop them on the ground and they'll bounce. That's what these are.
Hang on, I got those kind of weights in my garage. I'll be right back.
Do you guys think we're gonna be able to make the charges stick, or what's your take on this?
I mean, listen, we're waiting for our day in front of the Supreme Court. We got an autopsy coming in. We got.
Why isn't CNN covering? Why isn't CNN covering this? They should be covering our investigation here.
I could have saw the silver plates. BDA said 11.5 kilograms.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I saw. It said point something.
So that's 25 pounds.
Okay,
that's 25.
Yeah, I'm the guy, but whatever. It is what it is.
But
those mannerisms are funnier than the fucking lift is.
Those inner ones are definitely 45s. I'm looking at the thickness, roughly thickness through the screen versus what I'm seeing right here in my own weights at home, and it doesn't seem with like a little bit of a plus or minus. Doesn't look any bigger than a 45-pound powerlifting plate.
I'm gonna take this to a forensics expert who's a friend of mine. He owes me a solid. So
hey, my dad was in the bureau, so I have a little bit of skill in this stuff.
That's right. Now we're gonna get to the bottom of this. Now, while we do that, let's hear some soothing sounds from Alabama. The nature, yeah.
Be a train. You say a semi truck, I'm gonna run you over with a train, baby. Whoa.
I'm telling you, you guys are missing it. He's confident now, whether he actually bench pressed 300 or not. The guy thinks he did, and now he's going in there with supreme confidence. You cannot buy that. Steroids can give you that.
So I'm asking you guys, listen. So here's the question, right? That last press conference with the headphones, wasn't that his best? Wasn't that the best thing he could? I mean, wasn't that his best presser ever? It's either that or this right here. Radio Raheem goes, "Hey Deontay, can I? What do you think about the gloves in this fight?" And that's what he sees with that camera shot just showed him screaming at you, doing the train horn. I mean, the headphones aren't so bad.
Well, I believe honestly he was told.
Oh my God.
I believe he was probably told by somebody to do that, to wear the headphones. Because think about it, if you're on his team, that would be the ideal thing for him. Because remember, he didn't have to answer any questions. All he needed to be was ask them, and it would have been humiliating for him. His people just wrote that in their articles. Dante didn't answer nothing when they asked him this. But just to have, because remember, we follow this shit hardcore. A lot of people might check in for that fight, might know nothing about the fucking glove gate. And to see the coming out, to see that happen, could have humiliated him. So just the question, they didn't want even the question posed, never mind him answering. So that was, I guarantee you he didn't come up with that on his own. I bet you so his handler said, put on glove, so they won't even bother asking you, because we don't even want those optics.
That's
right, and a real journalist would have asked those questions. They would have asked, somebody out there would have.
Absolutely, Jay. They would have been like, do you want to address some of the accusations in front of this dude right now?
Yeah, like, it's gonna get worse in the next.
I'm confident about that. I'm starting to think the fucking people who cover the sport are pussies.
Well, Stephen A. Smith would have asked that question, and neither would have Max Kellerman. But if Dan Raphael were there, he might have actually. He's an investigative reporter.
Sports media is worse. Actually, it's definitely like super far left, and it's been that way for a long time.
Which is why. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Go, Jay.
I just think that there's some people that wouldn't have asked the question due to the fact that the interviewers that were there, unless Bob had his own people, his own sources, for lack of a better term, they're going to be on the PBC payroll of Dan Carpenter and guys like that. Not that he's a reporter, but someone of that level, and they're not going to ask those questions. You know, if I was,
Steve Kim would, but I don't even think he was there for because he's not covering it on a daily basis. He would call people out on this shit. But a lot of them, though, a lot of these people covering it nowadays. I mean, put it this way: shouldn't they be calling Ellaby out for the shit he's just pulled since the Davis shit? I mean, if Arum said half the shit that just came out of Ellaby's mouth in the last 5 days, he would be crucified by the media.
Well, listen, now Wilder's got two problems now because people are going to keep asking him about the gloves and the accusations he made. Now people are going to start grilling him about how much did you actually bench press. That's another allegation now that's on his ledger.
All he's got to do, BDA, if anybody asks him, if anybody says, how much did you really bench? Just go, just start
Come on,
screaming.
D! Come on! Get it! Lock it up!
Yeah, that guy on the left actually picks up that side.
I mean, this
Chief, that's what I said. He absolutely do it on the left, grabs it.
And if
he's stuck.
If I'm facing that being the left, then that's actually his right, which is his money punch, and he couldn't even pinch it all the way up with his strong.
No. But that's but if you notice, dude, a lot of people who are right dominant, if they're right hand, you'll see that it almost look like their right's weaker. But what it is, they're compensating. They're using they let more weight come down in their right side. It's just because it's the dominant hand, so it looks like their right's weaker. But in essence, it's just the way they're contorting their body. Either way, it was weight he shouldn't have touched because that dude shouldn't have put his hands on the collar. The second he put his hands on his collar, Wilder didn't do that weight. Yep.
I'm gonna tell you guys something. I could do that with one hand.
Yeah, right. I could do that with one.
I could lift that with my cock.
Remember when?
That's the best part when he's doing the train horn.
I was hoping that would go unchallenged. But
Remember when recognized one time we were all talking, all of a sudden you hear cling, 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 and he goes, "Oh, sorry guys, I'm moving my weight around the house." I'm thinking, bullshit.
It sounded like a microwave.
It sounded like
dishes, obviously dishes.
Exactly. Yeah.
What I heard was we were all talking to here. Sorry guys, I'm working out.
But listen,
like Anchorman, like that scene in Anchorman when she walked in. I'm doing my pipes on the burn.
I think now you guys can see. I think now you guys can see why Wilder's not getting better, or doesn't appear to be getting better, because he's just got a bunch of yes men around him. I don't see. Look, Malik Scott actually looks like a likable fella, but I think that's why Wilder got him, because he says, okay, he's good, but at the same time, I think Wilder calls the shots, and Malik Scott's the type of personality that just goes with it. So again, I don't know really how good.
Teaching him how to dive.
Unlike Mark Freeman.
Hey, listen.
Unlike Mark Freeman, who actually held
Scott, Breland, he probably looks at this video and just wish it just has PTSD from being around this type of shit. I mean, Breland had to wait for all this.
That happens to a lot of athletes.
He had to sit in the fucking locker room while he put that fucking outfit on with the red LED lights and the lasers and the two dykes that were trying to get him dressed. And he's just waiting there to do pads. I mean, he's just waiting to warm this guy up. And this guy,
there's a lot of talk now too that they didn't like each other, Pete. A lot of people are saying that there was tension in the camp long before this fight. Because they were saying that there was tension in the camp because Breland, he never felt Breland respected him. And Breland didn't respect him. I mean, it's obvious now by the shit he said, like the dude wouldn't hit the speed bag, the dude wouldn't do this, wouldn't do that. And Breland was probably like, fuck it, you're paying me. But how could you respect somebody who doesn't respect what you're trying to teach him?
Yeah, he's frustrated with you, Deontay. You get that? No, you don't. But he's just getting frustrated because he could probably watch the film and see that your right hand has the power, yes, but you're almost getting clipped coming in by Spielka, by everybody else except for, Stavern. That it's going to come to a head sometime. He's probably trying to just ask him to jab a little bit, and this is what he gets in return. Do it. That's what Breland gets in response.
Fucking Fury better not let the boxing world
Whatever you want, Deontay. He probably mixed that water up and tried to drink it himself to off himself before the fight. So I couldn't take it anymore.
Oh man, well listen,
I'm serious, man. I mean,
listen.
What I was saying about Malik Scott. Let me say this about Malik Scott. If what he's showing on the outside here is the same old, personality, But maybe at some point in time, him and the Crypt Keeper, Shelly Finkel, said, "Look, let's change gears, change directions." Hang on.
What do you call that, man?
And maybe if Malik Scott knows him and called him up and said, "Hey, Deontay, if you need anything, I got it. If you need anything, let me get in there. Maybe he can get through the fucking guy. Who knows, man?"
Yeah, that's a good point, man.
No, let me tell you something. If Wilder wins,
if Fury loses to this fucking shitbag, he's useless.
If Wilder wins, as crazy as it sounds,
it's gonna be
the LDBC is gonna be they're gonna be floating on air. They're gonna be doing live shows in the air, doing that.
Jesus Christ! If he wins, I think I'm bailing the fuck out of this shit.
Hey, listen, man.
The first fight.
You guys are being
just like the
pessimistic.
first fight.
You guys are looking at the glass half empty, man. If Wilder wins, we might get a fourth fight, and we keep this gravy train rolling. Because remember, don't forget, it's the build up to the fight. All forms of attacks have been authorized by the BDA board of directors. There's no YouTube moderation. There's no Google moderation. Anything goes, fellas. So I suggest we have fun with it and we keep on going. That's my point of view.
What about the
No. Whoa.
Oh, okay.
Calm down.
Calm down, Pete. You're a little out of line.
Jimmy.
A little out of line. A little bit.
So BDA.
You forgot for a second you're a white man, dude. What are you doing?
He's Greek. He's not white. Would you stop it, man?
How do you know?
BDA.
Hey, listen.
I'm white,
Honduras.
dude. Come on now.
He's from Honduras.
Ah, shit. What the fuck
I will
is
say
this?
this. Don't say no holds barred. And you got to clarify that because some people like to take it too far. I will say this. I think it's going to wind up like the third fight. The guy's... If he was just natural and he just lived his life, he'd look like Manute Bull. He'd look like a fucking 6'6" Rigondeaux. He's a skinny guy.
That's true.
He weighed 209 pounds the last fight. The only time he loses that weight is when he can't work out because his arms are probably all fucked up.
Yeah, so that's crazy. He's a guy who's 6'7" and can weigh as much as like under 210 pounds.
Yep.
That's insane. It's not. I've always said this. He's got a small head, the cranium.
Oh, what are you trying to say, man? What are you trying to say?
Listen. No homo, okay?
Recognizes the hair sniper.
He's got a small cranium that a guy like Fury's fist and guys that are like his size, his height, he's small for them. They look Anthony Joshua too. Anthony Joshua, his fist. He probably looks at Wilder's face and be like, man. And then looks at his fist and be like, I wonder if it could like cover half his face. I wonder if my fist. And if you do, bro, you got a problem. I mean, you with the small cranium, you do have a problem.
You're fucking.
I don't know why that's guy's brain inside there rattling around.
The small.
Like look. I don't mean that literally. That your fucking fist is half the guy's head, right? But like when you start. I can't help but notice when I look at my fist and like some dude got a little head. I'm like, man, if I hit him with a good shot, like right in a certain spot, it's a good chance I can break his face.
Yeah.
Recognize my buddy said the same thing about Wild. He goes, he's got one of them little heads. Like every time I see him, I hear that song, fucking One of Us. Remember that?
Come on,
One of Us, the little fucking dudes with all the pointy head motherfuckers from that old movie.
This is the face you make when somebody tells you get a small cranium. That type of face. Like, woo, what'd you say? Now let me tell you something. When it comes to Deontay Wilder, I think you guys are being a little bit harsh. Okay, Kevin from Chicago is calling him a pea-head. See, I'm not gonna stand for that, man. I'm not gonna. See what you started to recognize, man. Come on. Now look, here's the.
What do you call him? A pinhead?
P-head, like a pea.
Listen,
Yeah.
it goes on ESPN and they go, "Hey, Deontay, we're gonna have the mascot, the baseball mascot, whoever. We're gonna have this guy stand here and God damn it, to go to commercial. We want you to fake throw a punch at him, and he fucking decks the fucking mascot on ESPN on SportsCenter. You saw that? He just fucking laid him out.
That was his best.
They don't want him more on
To me, that was one of his greatest moments.
Yeah, can you imagine when we went to commercial? This guy was fucking probably like, "What the fuck? What are you doing?"
Well, let me tell you something. He might not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but I do believe he's got confidence. That's all he needs. Confidence.
That's right.
And you know what? When Reckon was talking about the size of the heads and all that, that sounds like the type of guy that if you ever go to Vietnam or if you ever had gone to Vietnam, recognize You'd be like Matt Dillon's brother in Platoon when he bashes that Vietnamese guy's head in. And he goes, "Holy shit! Did you see all that blood?" It's like, oh, man, there's a little something weird going on with you and the way you analyze people.
Man, you see that brain pop out? I've never seen anything like
That's
that.
first date.
Exactly.
Yeah, you see the way that head come apart?
Those are first date type of remarks. You know, when you pick a girl up, like, look at my fist compared to the size of your head. Look at it.
Something else too. Something
Definitely
else.
a guy that.
That's what I'm saying. You guys think he's mentally broken after the second fight? What do you mean mentally broken? This fucking guy's got. I'm not for better or for worse. He's limited. All right, let's just say that he's limited. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody got their limits.
Is this Deontay Wilder, or is that the size of the head you expect there from Deontay Wilder? Or?
Like in Beetlejuice, the shrunken head guy.
I don't think Recognize can even see the screen. But anyway, listen.
I can see it.
Shut up. No, you can't. Don't lie to me. Now listen. We gotta go. But I didn't feel like we could leave. I don't feel like we can leave without playing this clip again, man. Because I mean, it's just this guy just keeps on giving, and I'm starting to feel bad for the guy, man. But hey, it is what it is. So.
Stop it.
Who's the guy on the right? Is that Malik Scott?
I don't know, man. It looks like him. I mean, no, I think it's his bodyguard. I think it's the guy that's always. It's the guy that was in the press conference that said, "Don't touch him. Don't put your hands on my man," or something like that. He said.
There's dudes who are fucking anally raped in prison who don't scream that bad.
Ah, come on. Wait a minute.
But look at his calves. Look at his calves. All right. So if that's the guy in charge of the training, I mean, he's in the same.
Yeah, these dudes got little legs, bro.
Little. Rigondeaux. Look from the knee down. That's Rigondeaux.
Because leg day is the toughest of all the body parts.
Man, I dream of leg day. That's what I look forward to. Leg day. I'm doing leg day right now, even though it's supposed to be arm day. So.
Me too. Hold on.
The only time I've ever seen guys spot on either side like that, you have to have some heavy fucking serious fucking.
Yeah, big weights.
Well, the bar's bending.
Your tongue out.
The bar's bending and.
Fine, honey. Fine, baby.
Pete, if it's not heavy weight, you have serious doubt you can lift the weight.
I mean, one person can spot somebody doing 315, right? If you can stand over top of somebody and pull it up.
No, you're right. But but when I was in high school, the coach wanted to have like triple coverage in case drop something because the school's liable. So you had a guy in the back and then one guy on either side. So again, you only have one guy on either side most of the time if the person really had doubt that they could lift the weight. Or if it was really, really heavy, like you said. So those are the only two factors. It was the one you obviously said, which is completely correct. Or if someone was like, hey, I'm going to try this for the first time. Can you guys give me a hand? And then someone's behind him and on each side because they don't know if the guy has the confidence to lift the weight off of him.
Well, I tell you what, man.
That's Malik Scott, whoever it is. You can see when he re-racks it and Water's screaming like a maniac. He's just re-racking it, waiting to get to the next fucking... This must be the whole time we're working out. This guy's just... Oh.
I think that's his bodyguard, man. I'm telling you. I think that's the bodyguard, the guy that said, don't put your hands on my man. So, I think you got... No, well, come on. It gives him confidence. It's all about the confidence, fellas, and you guys are missing it. But look, we'll pick this up on the next episode. Gotta go.
Right.
Shout out to everybody who came onto the panel. Recognize Jimmy, Chief, Pete, Gonzalo, King Bucho.
Speedy recovery to Teofimo. Good luck, Teo.
That's right.
That's what I have to say. Bye.
Oh man, yeah, that's it. I'm gonna chop that up right now. Put it on some-
That's the sound you make. That's the sound you make when you realize that you overbid a fight by $4 million. That's what the accountants say.
Oh man. Well, listen, we gotta go. Shout out to everybody that donated the super chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, everybody that listened. I'm talking about Loki Z.
Smash that like button, you fucking criminals.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say another word, one that started with Q and ended with S, plural. But anyway, yeah, hit that like button, fellas. Hit that like button. Don't be afraid. Works out for everybody. Works for you. Good for me. Good for everybody. Shout out to the Pharaoh who just donated with the super chat. Says you can't spell legendary without leg day. Oh, that's a good one, man. I'm gonna steal that one. Give you.
That's a good one.
Water can't spell anything.
What did I just say? I know it's a good one. Shout out to the Pharaoh. for his contribution. Shout out to the Fire for his contribution. Shout out to everybody that donated, man. Really appreciate it. Reverend Pickles, Mr. E, Freddie Mars, DJN1, Norman Luis, Triple JJJ. You guys know who you are. Gotta go. Take it easy, fellas. Thank you.